The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
I can't hear you. No, I just see your mouth moving. No, I'm not hearing anything. Can you hear me? Put thumbs up if you can hear me.
How about now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You know what? You know what? I think it's this mic, this old mic. I think I broke my newer mic that had like
Oh,
15.
okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I was talking for at least fucking. I wasn't. Nobody was hearing me. Oh my god. Now,
No, yeah, no. Because I was like, I came in and I didn't hear anything, and I was like, oh shit, something's wrong with my audio. And then
I have to.
it was working, and then I came in and I realized, no, I couldn't hear you.
Oh man,
Yeah, I didn't
mic. It's
see.
this mic.
Yeah, I would have told you if I was in the chat, but I just saw the link, so I clicked on it.
Okay, thank you for coming in to remind me,
Yeah,
man. Because otherwise, I have to open up. Because I have my stream on YouTube, and like I'm watching my stream, my live stream on YouTube, but I muted it,
right,
so I wouldn't know, right?
right.
So, and look, thank you. Finbar did
Yeah,
that
no
to me
problem.
Thursday. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Yeah, this is gonna be a longer stream than usual. That's why I started earlier.
Oh, this
Um,
is gonna be a very long one.
yeah. So, like I said to people, okay, if you haven't played the games or watched the show, uh, you'll like me, like Blind to Hear knows more than me. But I've played the games. I know a little bit. I watched the show. But if you haven't played the game or the show, you're going to be very, very lost. Very, very lost.
Well,
And
to some
yeah,
degree, I think you could still enjoy the show. Like I've seen a lot of people on threads, like a lot of people freaking love the show, which makes me really happy
I mean,
that.
it got the
But
porn. It got the porn themes out of the way.
yeah, I got pretty much. I won't say all the basics because we will get
Yeah.
into that. There's a lot of things from the games that are pretty iconic that
Hmm.
weren't in this first season, which I'm one of them I'm surprised, but the other one I'm not super surprised by. But
So
yeah, we'll get into that.
okay. So I said about the show. I mean, I said you probably. I This is probably not going to get his awards nominated like Last of Us, but I like this better than Last of Us.
Yeah, I mean I'm conflicted, right? Because I mean The Last of Us, I mean I've said this multiple times. The Last of Us Part 2, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
I put Fallout 4, even though I do love New Vegas, but I put, I probably said this before. I put almost 700 hours into Fallout
I,
4. So, I I've played all the other games. I played Fallout 1 and 2, the CRPG games.
mm-hmm.
3, New Vegas. I was even one time I was defending Fallout 76 because
I'm
I don't think it's a bad game. I do think there's problems
actually
with
got
it,
better.
but yeah, I
I
got better. Yeah.
I just like this. I like look. It's not gonna get nominated for like MBS. I guarantee you, because like it probably won't. But I did
Maybe,
like this.
but what's his
I
name?
don't know.
Walter
Walter Goggins
Goggins
is
is
great.
really good in the show.
Yes,
Really good.
yes. I like this show. I mean, this show had everything that made it perfect. At that show, it was funny. It was fun as hell.
Mhm.
It played up and no Fallout. Yeah, Fallout. The stuff in Fallout was pretty depressing, but they made
Yeah,
it into
it's
such a
also funny too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They clearly Jonathan Nolan, clearly a Fallout fan, clearly wanted that in the show. He didn't want to make it like he did.
Right.
I'm glad Hollywood is deciding when the video game adaptations, they're now trying to make the show like the video games. They have the same tone as the video games. when
Right.
they used to change it, right? They used to try to make their own style, and that really never worked. People did not like
Yeah,
that.
the thing is I what I like about this show is that it's not just adapting the games. This is part of the games.
Yes,
That
it's canon
that
to the
is something
games.
that we haven't seen before, and this show is dealing with a lot of like I'm actually shocked, right? Like the show
Yes,
is dealing with a lot of theories and ideas that people have had for this series for like the last 27 years. Like it's pretty crazy that they're going forward with like I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. Like I
and
really love this show. I'm
this is
impressed.
I think this is the first video games adaptation that's gonna be canon to something.
Yeah.
Yes. So let you all know, this is canon to the video games. So the video game, if you go to the video games, or if you play the video games already, or you want to play the video games inspired by the show, this is all part of the video games.
Definitely. I mean, we'll get into spoilers and stuff, but if you're
Yes.
gonna wanna
It's,
know some things about the second season,
yes.
there's a certain game that you should play.
So this show follows three main characters. Three main characters. The Ghoul, which is Walter Goggins'
Mhm.
character, takes place in the past and the future, because he is so he's a ghoul.
Yes, yeah, the ghoul who's also what's his name? Something Howard. I forget his first name.
Cooper, is it Cooper?
Cooper, yeah, Cooper Howard.
Former military became actor, right? Like a cowboy
Yes.
actor. And then you got Lucy, who's kind of, I guess, the dweller from the vault.
Yes. Of
Lucy-
Vault 33.
Yeah, Vault 33. Also, you got Maximus, who's why are they called the Brotherhood? What would he call them? Like
Yes. The Brotherhood of Steel.
the Brotherhood Steel, but what would he call them? What would he call them?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
a militia.
well, the Brotherhood of Steel is like, I guess they're a militia slash cult, because there's a lot of
And
they're pretty much like you know, the Knights of Templar. They're
yeah.
yeah,
You have knights, and they have and they have they have
squire, and they have
squires, yeah.
elders and things like that.
Yeah. So yeah, and so those are the three main characters.
Mhm.
Like I said, the Ghoul is from the past, and he has a very important role, like because he from the beginning of this show to the end, it all connects, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that how
Right.
he has how he has a connection to Lucy. He doesn't realize it until later on.
Well, he
there's
had a
a-
feeling, but
He had a
it's,
feeling, yeah.
you know, there's a reveal at the ending of the show.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I knew it. There was something.
I didn't see the twist coming. Like I didn't. I was like, oh shit,
How-
okay, that
and
makes sense, but damn.
and that woman, the Raider woman leader, she was part of the past too.
Yeah,
forget her name.
Mulder.
Valder, yes,
Yeah.
yes. She's part of the past. You know, she knows Cooper too, and they kind of know each other
Yeah.
in the present too. No, they kind of know each other in the present, because we'll get to later on how you
Yes.
recognize
Yeah, we'll
her.
get into later on
Yeah.
because even though, I mean, spoilers, like we said, she
There's a
does die
spoiler.
at the ending of the show, but the thing is, again, if you are familiar with the games, she's like they can't just get rid of her. She's a major character in the show, even if she is dead. And on top of that too, there is some stuff that's not explained about her character. Key things are not explained about her character. So
Yes. So, like I said, the themes about this show is from the games: war, genocide, greed, all the deception, betrayal,
Right.
all of that has like everything you could ask for. In this, and it's very in like post-apocalyptic era, right? Like every post-apocalypse,
Apocalyptic.
whether it's a game or video game or show, it's like Wild West, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
like the laws are changed, right? Like murder is like it's not as tolerated anymore. It's not stuff like that.
Well, one of the things about Fallout that makes it unique is that
Yeah.
there's so many different factions that are all trying
Yes.
to claim the wasteland and oversee it. And
Yeah.
obviously, most of these factions are not in the show.
And it,
Most of the major ones are in the show, at least.
and it was close
So-
to a point where civilization was starting to come back, and we
Yes.
and we'll spoil that later on. What happens to a certain city that
Yeah,
was
that's a big
yeah
revelation.
yes
That, like I said, if you're not familiar with all the games, you
yeah
don't realize that this location is a very important
hmm
location in the series.
yes, um, and so that's what it starts off with Walter Goggins' character at a birthday party, right?
Mhm.
Um, and
In
then the bomb.
LA.
LA, yeah, because he's Hollywood, he's an actor, yeah, obviously. So, um, and then the bomb goes off, and yeah, he kind of knew what's going to happen. Well, we'll get to spoil that because
Mhm.
it's stuff to
That's
do
a
with his
mystery
wife.
in the show, but
Yeah,
yes.
it's stuff to do with his wife. Um,
The opening scene of the show is uh, it's really great. It sets the tone.
yeah,
It definitely has very much Fallout 4 vibes where
and
Fallout 4 was the first game to actually show us the pre-war
yes,
and what actually happened, like right when the bombs dropped. So this is the second time that we actually got a bit of that. Well, yeah, I guess that Fallout
there's a little
76 doesn't really touch on it
there's a
that
little
much.
inspiration from Fallout 4, especially with ice
Yes, the cryogenics
cryogenic. Yeah,
sleep. Yeah.
we'll get to that of course later on. So yeah, that happens with Walter Goggins' character. Uh, when he's look, like I don't know what year that was.
It's 2077, which is funny
When,
because, Cyberpunk
yeah, so yeah, in the
2077,
Fallout
but yeah.
series, the Fallout series is 2027, but it looks like it's the 50s with
Yeah,
the
so it's basically like future idealism.
yeah.
Give me a second, hold on. Give me a second.
I guarantee you guys, the 2077 in real life, it's not gonna look like that. Because we know it doesn't look like that, right? We don't have our vehicles, our cars don't look like that anymore. Um, our TVs don't look like that. We don't have black and white TV, obviously. I'll be right back too, guys. I can just get something. Hello, Anthony.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, he also left too. Damn. Who's okay? Nobody's here yet. Oh, well, Anthony's here. What's up? Yeah, if you haven't watched it, this is gonna be like full spoilers. But I mean, you could
Sorry.
come back and listen
Yeah, I'm
to it
back.
afterward because
I'm
we are
back.
gonna be explaining a lot of the stuff.
Yes.
What happens in the show.
Yes. Okay, so where was I? Okay. I can hear myself. I can hear myself in your.
In my head, hold on, is it me?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's you. Okay.
I
Okay.
have no clue. It doesn't
Okay.
usually
It's
do
gone.
that. Oh,
It's gone.
okay.
It's gone. Don't worry. Don't worry. You know what? It doesn't really bother me at all. Like it's. I don't think it's really like annoying. It's not annoying at all. So it's
Well,
okay.
hopefully it's not annoying for the viewers. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The viewers say it's annoying or what? Just let us know. It doesn't really bother me.
right.
Okay. So we fast forward to the future. Vault 33, and they're connected to two other vaults, 31 and 32. But we'll
Yes,
get to that
which
later.
is not.
Yeah.
This is the first time vaults have been connected. Usually they're standalone.
And
But yeah,
so the vaults, and you see how it's a community, right? It's a small community. You have education, you have like rooms with kitchens, beds. It's like it's
yeah,
very right. It's not like it's basically a bomb shelter, a huge
right.
bomb shelter with a bunch of people, a large bomb shelter with a community involved in it, and they have but it's more advanced bomb shelters. Like bomb shelters, and all bomb shelters don't look like that. It's just obviously the vaults were created by $1 billion company.
Yeah, Voltec. Voltec is
Yeah.
one of the main
Villains.
companies Yeah, well, that's another big
Twist.
revelation,
Yeah.
because that's again hinted at the games but not explicitly told. So yeah,
Until the show basically show exploited that.
yeah, until the
And
show
the,
kind of
and
delved into it.
their belief is, which will have you played into the future later episodes, is that
Hmm.
they're the ones that are going to repopulate the earth, right? When they're ready to go
Yes.
back to the surface, not knowing, not knowing, some of them not knowing about what's up there. Some do, but not knowing what's up there. Some hide it from them. We'll get to that. That's
Mhm.
important later on. Um, and Lucy, who's the has a brother, right? Has a brother. The father played
Yeah.
by Kyle
Norm.
yeah, the
Norm
Norm.
is the
The
brother.
father, the father's the overseer, right? And they have like before that she's being interviewed, right? By like three. I guess they're not technically overseers, but they're like I guess second in command.
They're like second in command, yeah.
Yeah,
Because Betty is an important character.
yeah. Um,
Oh, I think did you mute yourself?
Am I back?
Okay. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So she was getting promoted to something, right? And also she was getting also there's a relationship between 33 and was it 32 Vault 32?
Yeah, she's trying to find a spouse to
Yeah.
marry. Because
And
in this vault, what they do is instead of people just having relationships in their own vault, they actually seek out, um,
yeah, because it's
other people, right, to
because they
have
have to,
families
because
with.
otherwise everybody would be related and
Yeah, there would be inbreeding and stuff.
yeah. And which I wouldn't be surprised if the filed kind of stuff show. I mean
Well, they
it's
make a joke about it because
mm,
remember, one of her cousins actually loves her, right? And then
yes,
she's
yeah,
like, "No, we're cousins. Like, it's fucked
yes.
up. We can't be
And
together."
so they have arranged marriage. She never met her future husband, fiance. So Vault
Right.
32 and 33 come to meet each other. She meets her fiance. They celebrate the wedding. Um, right, and they
Mhm.
consummate the marriage. They have sex, and it turns out they were not really Vault 32. They were really
No,
Raiders,
they were
right?
Raiders. Yeah.
Um,
Led by Mulder or whatever her name is. I can never. It
yeah, I think
starts with
that's
an
her
M.
name. I think that's her name.
Okay.
Mulder. I think that's her name. Led by Raiders. Um, they didn't kill a lot of people in Vault 31, but some of the people died too. But in the end, they
Right.
were there ready to
Well, Vault 32, because before
yeah,
she gets married, they say that they died from, or some of them died from uh like I guess it was like some crop infestation, like the
yes,
crops were bad, and
that's
so some of these people died. Well, it turns out it wasn't necessarily true. Um, the Vault 32, they were actually dead long before the Raiders got
yeah.
in.
So fast forward to the episode, mid episode. Some of the waiters who survived were locked up, right? And
Mhm.
when I think it was Norm who was delivering the food, because Norm was a little suspicious at this time. We'll get to why. Was a little suspicious about about I forget what's the black woman
Well,
name they
he Betty,
had.
Norm is suspicious because when the Vault 33 goes to investigate, they actually see like a bunch of dead crops, and then
Yeah,
they pretty much are like, they tell them, oh, like go leave, leave Vault 32, and Norm is like, well, those crops look really old, right? It's doesn't look
hmm
like they were around for years and years, and
and he thought the
that's
Raiders
what.
killed them. Thought the Raiders
Well,
killed
he
people without 32 and impersonate them, right? At
Yeah, well,
first,
he didn't believe. Yeah, at first he thought that's what it was, but
yeah,
he
yeah,
starts to realize that that's not the case, that they were
no,
dead even before the Raiders showed
yeah,
up. The
because
Raiders just found them dead there, and they just
how
used
the
it.
skeletons were like were decomposing all stuff like that.
Well, first it
Um,
was the crops. The
yeah,
crops
and
were
the crops.
really old, right? Like the whole room itself looked like it hadn't, it aged, like panels were
Mhm.
falling off the wall. It
Yes,
looked years old, right? Rusted, and it didn't make sense, right?
and
So,
it feels like Vault 33 never went. It feels like Vault 33. This is the first
or
time Vault
32.
33 and 32 actually decide to do something together, and
Right.
they never been to Vault 32. It's like right? So it's like
Well,
the
it
vault
seems
was
it seems weird because that's also another
yeah,
mystery that's not
yeah,
explained is
yeah.
um was they were allegedly communicating with Vault 32 for uh, years and
And
years, but they were dead. So who were they communicating
and
with
you see
exactly?
later on, later on, when later on, members of all 33 got switched to different vaults, right? They
Yes,
didn't say
yeah.
33 to 32; they said 33 to 31.
Yeah, the whole mystery, yeah, because
Yeah.
Norm, so that's a subplot, right? So the
Yes,
whole
very
subplot
important
involves
subplot.
Norm, the brother of Lucy, who's trying to look into because it
Corruption,
looks like there was a revolt in Vault
revolt.
32
There was some
where
corruption
they
too.
all killed each other,
Yeah,
and there's like blood on the wall that says like we know the truth, and the overseer was like choked to death, and like they were trying to break into 31 Vault
yeah,
31. So that's where Norm and his cousin,
the cousin.
Is it
Yes,
Clef, or what's his
I
name,
forget.
Chef, Clef, Chef, I
Let
don't
me
even
see. Let
remember.
me see. Let me see the cast.
It's C, starts with CHET. I
It could
can
be
and yeah. Anyway,
the cousin.
him
Yeah,
and Norm, yeah, the cousin. The cousin is very like he doesn't want to be involved with any of it because the new overseer, Betty, who's this black older woman, is very like she wants like pretty
and
much
he
this whole thing
was,
to go away.
and the cousin was the one who helms the entrance and the exit of the vault.
Yeah. Yeah, and because yeah, so they end up because they um were suspicious and all that, they decide to let Lucy leave the vault, and that gets them in trouble to the point
Gets
where
him
they lose their
demoted. Yeah,
jobs. Yeah, that gets them demoted. But the brother, he doesn't really care, right? He's just like,
he
well,
doesn't care.
I never liked any of the jobs in the vault to begin with, and so that's why he's
Um,
kind of risking. Yeah,
Al,
yeah.
if you
I said,
Anthony, if you don't care about being spoiled, you can stay because I we want to win for you if you
yeah,
care.
yeah. That's what I was saying. When you left, I read that comment.
What's okay? Guess what's his name? It starts with C, right?
Yeah, Chet. I think isn't Chet. Chet. What
Chet.
was I saying? Yeah, Chet.
Yeah, Chet. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, but like that is a subplot. It does at the end kind of the subplot does kind of it is kind of important to the end because specifically the
Yeah.
father and um uh but
Well,
yeah,
the father and another character because that's
yes,
also something. I mean,
yes.
can we just like talk like?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
we'll go into the
spoilers.
different because there's different subplots anyway throughout the entire
Yeah.
show. So basically, at this subplot is about the fact that Vault 31, the mystery of Vault 31, and why Vault 32 revolted was that the overseers were chosen. They were specifically chosen to lead Vault 33 and 32. And this is because the people inside Vault 31 were actually junior executives to Vault-Tec, and
Yeah,
that they
the
were cryogenically frozen to
Lucy's father.
lead. Yeah,
Lucy's
Lucy's
father.
father, Betty, and also another character who they don't show in the flashbacks, which is Stephanie. I think her name's
Yes.
Stephanie, the blonde woman. Which is interesting because she's much younger than Betty and Henry. His name was Henry,
Is that the one
the
with the
father.
eye that's pregnant?
Yeah, who gets stabbed. She was pregnant. She
Yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
stabbed in the eye. Yeah. So she was also a junior executive, but we don't know how old she was because she's fairly young. Like she looks like she's in her 30s or even like
Yeah, she's still
20s.
young.
So
And
it's kind of weird that she's younger than Betty and Henry. So she must have either just come out of the cryogenic um
you know what's
state.
weird?
I don't know. You do see her chamber though with her name
You know
on
what's
it.
weird? Walter Goggins' character says, "Where is my family? Is this family?
Yeah.
Did they? I
So
thought they
this
died
is
in the bomb
a
blast."
mystery. No, they didn't die. This is another. I don't think the show they're gonna explain it probably better in the second season, but they didn't explain this very clearly. Because yeah, I had some friends too who were confused. So Vault 31 is just junior executives. Those were executives who were just assistants to the bigger executives. We don't
Yeah,
actually
yeah. Where's
know
this Hank?
where
Yeah,
we don't
the
actually
father.
know where key Vault Tech executives are, which is which that was a mystery in the games. Like the thing is,
Do you think?
Vault-Tec is a company that like
I,
they did experiments. So this is part of the show, right? They did
yes,
experiments.
yes, they did. Yeah.
So what it was they would have control vaults and then they would have experiment vaults. And these experiment vaults were, they did a lot of messed up shit, right? Like
Hmm.
in the last episode, you actually hear the different executives of all the companies give ideas for experiments in the vaults, and those are vaults from the games, right? There's a vault that was just they were pumping fumes into and they were turning them into
Yes.
like super mutants and all types of weird shit. And if you are like really want to explore some of the vaults, like there's entire videos about different
Hmm.
vaults. Like there's one vault where a guy, like there was only one guy in the vault and he went crazy and he used to talk with puppets and then he turned into like a serial killer. So there's a lot of like cool, interesting vaults out
Hmm.
there, but we never got to know about what exactly happened
And
to the vaults that were controlling the experiment and the control vaults. That was like a big mystery in the games. Um, so now we kind of know that the executives are still around. They're probably frozen, maybe not. We don't know, but the junior executives were frozen at
oh,
least.
the ghoul thinks his family's still alive.
Yeah, he
So
still thinks it's alive. We don't know yet. That's a
yeah,
big mystery of the show. And I think we'll get into that
Mulder
after. Yeah.
and Mulder. I mean, like Mulder. The question is how she able to survive because she was not part of
Yeah,
Voltec.
that's another. So that's one of the mysteries that
Yeah,
Mulder. Well, we'll get into, I guess, that plot.
She was against them. It's like
Yeah, she was against them. She was a supposed communist. So I guess in the other plot
mhm,
thread was Walter Goggins' character. He is a actor who
mhm.
actually was the inspiration behind Vault Boy. Now,
Yes, she was.
so and he was also the one because this is another thing that was a theory. If you know Fallout for a long time, one of the theories about the Vault Boy is that he has the thumbs up and he's winking, and it's kind of like a cartoony Mickey Mouse kind of pose. But a lot of people think that there was like a darker meaning to it, and the darker meaning was that
No,
he's actually looking at the mushroom cloud of the bomb and checking to see if he's safe. Because there was an old rumor from the 50s that said if a nuclear bomb were to drop and you were to, put your thumb over the blast radius, if it was in your thumb, then you were
mhm,
safe. If the mushroom cloud was, beyond your thumb, then that means you were in danger and that you should seek shelter. Which that was a long time theory in the games, and the show actually did confirm that. That's something that they used to do, and that's what the Vault Boy is doing. So that's a pretty big deal. That was again a very, very, very old theory. Like we're talking like 20 years old type of theory. So I mean that's pretty cool. I'm sure some people were pissed off though, but it is what it
yes.
is.
Let them
Um,
be pissed off.
yeah,
We're
there's a lot of people who are pissed off. If you're a hardcore Fallout fan, there's a lot of people who are pissed off about the show. But we'll get into
why?
that.
Why would it be? The show is what the game is.
It's because there's a well, like I said, when we get into that plot point, I'll explain the controversy.
Okay.
Because it is a slip up, but it's not really a slip up.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, so Walter Goggins' plot point, um, just to like explain it, he is working for Voltec as their spokesman. They've
Spokesman,
taken like
yeah, he
yeah,
has advertisement stuff like that.
right,
Yeah.
and he's also an actor. Kind of reminds me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's a Western
Yes.
actor, and he's very famous. And his wife actually is one of the executives of Voltec, and that's how
Yes.
he's able to do these
Yeah.
commercials. And so
He
he's
never liked anybody from he hated he never liked he didn't trust
yeah,
her
he never
her
trust
colleagues.
he felt she was too like invested into this
Yeah.
thing, and he didn't really believe that there was going to be bombs. And there was this very big scare that was happening at the time where just like in real life, people were getting fired and disowned because they people thought they were actually communists. And so that's sort of like plays into
Yeah.
his career so far, is that he's seeing, directors, writers get fired. And so Voltec, they they have other dealings with other companies, such as West Tech. West Tech is a company that in the show they were the ones who build a lot of weapons. They were the ones who build the power armor that you see the Brotherhood of Steel wear, and essentially that was used in another war. This is what I'm saying. This goes very deep into the lore of Fallout. Walter Goggins' character fought in a war called the Resource War, which was
Yeah.
a fight between pretty much like the Eastern countries against America, as they were fighting over, I don't think they were fighting over oil, but they were fighting other resources. And China attacked Alaska,
China, yes.
and there was this a lot of controversy because as
And
Canada
that,
got involved, Canada was supposedly a communist, and so the U.S. actually claimed Canada, and they became a little America. At least in some places, there's some. Just to get into this, because I could.
that's kind of funny though,
Uh,
as a Canadian.
it's fun. It is funny. Toronto, I think Vancouver, a couple other provinces are mentioned throughout the games. Toronto is a military base that I think doesn't have a vault, so I don't know if we'll ever get to see Canada in the games. It would be pretty cool. It's pretty important to
It's
the lore. So
it's very heavily focused on the West, the
on the
fall.
Americans, yeah,
Yeah.
because all the companies are pretty much American companies, and
Yes.
there's not they. The thing is, they do touch upon other countries. It's just we don't really know what happened to them, and they weren't part of the Great War. At least some of them weren't. So we don't know if they were bombed or not.
Yes.
They probably were, but we don't really know to what extent.
Yeah, he didn't believe it was going to happen, but
Yeah,
Vault-Tec did. But like Vault-Tec believed it, but they had
alternative
alternative
motive.
yeah,
Yeah, and even
and
that I still think is not super clear, even though
yeah,
there is an explanation.
yeah, and so with Mulder, like we got Michael Emerson's character, right, the doctor with the
Mhm.
dog. So
Yes, he is part of the Enclave, which
yes,
is another faction that was an offshoot of the
hmm
actual American government. Because Voltec, in the show, it's explained that Voltec has ties to the American government, and that's why vaults were so heavily promoted because they made a deal with the American government.
and he there was a
And
bounty on him because
yes,
his dog accidentally killed a soldier or whatever.
well, he was developing a technology. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Um,
That and the
and the dog, but
yeah, and
yeah, because
unfortunately,
that faction they don't really explain it all that well.
no.
But the Enclave is like they were supposed to be defeated in Fallout 2, but they came back in Fallout 3, and they were supposed to be defeated again there. But here they are back again after
hmm
like God knows how
And
long. So yeah,
his character plays a very important role. Well, for 2 episodes, but his head does. His
yeah,
head's very important because he puts the fusion core, whatever piece, the fusion core that's needed. That needed to the fusion core is kind of to put power back into a city, right?
right.
Um,
Well, it was infinite power. This
yeah,
the cold fusion
yeah, the cold fusion.
technology, which
It
was
was
scrapped by Voltec because it wasn't profitable.
yeah, exactly. And well, that's very, and we'll get to Voltec on that and how they're greedy and stuff, and
Mhm.
very evil.
Well,
But
I just
yeah,
want to
so
say one thing. I mean, because I have this tendency, but okay. In the episode that you see the Enclave ex scientist train his dog, you actually get to see a glimpse at future enemy faction that's called the Super Mutants. Briefly, you see one under like it was a dead one, and they pull the curtain or
yes,
and you see its green arm. That was the Super Mutants, which is a pretty you know,
hmm
they pretty much appear in every single Fallout game. So I'm kind of surprised that they weren't in the show, but I'm sure it would be expensive to do, right? Because it's almost like the Hulk. You would have to CGI them, and
yeah,
there's a lot of them. So I assume that's something that you need a bigger budget for. but they are very important, and they probably are going to be very important to season two, given the location. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
And so the ghoul was actually kind of um, locked up. Well, I would say locked up. He
Right.
was kind of in a coffin, a casket, or whatever, freed by these other bounty hunters.
Yeah,
That
he was being fed radiation.
yeah. Oh yeah. The thing about the ghoul is the ghouls. I think all ghouls they kind of have this asthma thing. They all have kind of asthma. They kind of run
Yeah.
out of breath, right? And they kind of need what's the stimulant they need to.
Well, the thing is, this is a I don't remember this at all from the games.
Neither do
Ghouls
I.
needing radiation to survive, because the wasteland is
Yeah.
radiation.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm assuming it's some type of radiation that they're drinking, radiated water, radiated something, to
Yeah.
survive. Because this is another thing to show. I guess I wouldn't say it's a change. It's just sort of like never explained.
Yeah.
We don't. It's never explained how someone can turn into a ghoul. If you played
Yes, that's
some
true.
of the
That's true.
games, there's actually like missions or like little side stories that involve people trying to turn themselves into ghouls, but they
Yes.
die from radiation poisoning. So it's
Yes.
something to do with your genes that turn you into a ghoul. You can't. Not everybody can turn into a ghoul, and not
Like
everybody who turns into a ghoul will be just
yeah.
normal. Some of them
They're
will
not like
turn feral.
feral. Yeah, yeah. You see
Yeah.
that in an episode later on that there's some feral ghouls. Yeah.
Yes, they explain that. There's another ghoul, there's another type of ghoul that is not in this show, but I'll just
Yes. I
explain
remember.
it here. It's called the glowing one. And those are ghouls that had
Yeah,
such
I
high
remember.
exposure to radiation that they start to glow green. And
Yes.
they're one of the strongest, ghoul enemies that you can find in the games.
Let's
But
let's talk
yeah.
about let's talk about Maximus, right? So
Yes.
Maximus is part of the Brotherhood, right? So he was treated poorly. He gets treated poorly by his peers, gets beat up by his peers, picked on.
Mhm.
Only has one friend. He even gets picked on by superiors too.
Right.
Um, and he just takes it and does. But he always admires the uh, what do they call the knights? I guess I'll call them the
Yeah, the
knights.
knights.
He always
Yes.
admires them because there's always because of a flashback he has a kid where he does the Indiana Jones thing and survives in the fridge.
Yes. By the way, that's an ongoing reference, in the games, is Indiana Jones in the fridge.
Yes, it is.
Uh, yeah, you could. I think in Fallout 3, you could find Indiana Jones' dead body in a fridge. In Fallout 4, there's a side quest, which, by the way, that's a reference. The kid coming out of the fridge in the show, that's a reference to a quest in Fallout 4 where there's a kid ghoul in a fridge who lasted 200 years, and you got to bring him back to his family. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that
Uh,
quest. But
so
yeah,
his friend got promoted to be a squire for the knight. Titus, right? It's
right.
Titus, right?
Yes, Titus,
But he got
who's
hurt.
played by that comedian. I forget his name,
Michael
but
Rappaport.
yeah.
And Michael Rappaport, right? Um, yes, in that episode, second episode, Michael, I think second or third episode, Titus revealed his face. Um,
Yes.
but it was supposed to be his friend, it was supposed to be the squire, right?
Hmm.
But his friend got severely hurt. And, Max just pledged himself to the Brotherhood, right? He pledged
Right.
himself, convinced the High Elder that he could do this, right? He'll give his life for them. Touched by this, they decided to replace his friend with him, right? And
Hmm.
so we get to the part where Titus, and they're also looking for the scientist, right? Michael Emerson's character.
Right. Because of the cold fusion
Yes.
technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the main uh aspects of the Brotherhood of Steel is that they're essentially, like I said, they're the Knight Templar, but their whole goal is to find ancient
Mm-hmm.
artifacts from the pre Great
Previous
War.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, the previous war, and basically use it because they believe that they're the ones in control. It's their
Yeah.
right to the technology, and they're pretty much bigots, right? Like, they do not like ghouls, they don't like mutants, they
Oh
think
yeah,
they're
we know in the
all.
last episode them and the Raiders
Yeah,
are big time enemies.
well, Raiders in quotes, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Yeah, they hate
But
ghouls.
yeah,
Yeah, they hate
they
ghouls.
they hate ghouls, they hate mutants,
They hate everything.
they hate everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the thing is, they will take you in as long as you're like a normal human.
Yes.
You know, you could be a surface dweller or you could be a vault dweller. It doesn't really matter. They'll still take you in. But yeah, they're essentially bigots. But yeah,
Yes. So he gets a job right as a squire, and squires are always treated badly by the knights. Um, a lot of them apparently die too.
yeah,
So they get to they get to Philly, town out of Philly. No, not Philadelphia, guys, because it's on the West Coast.
yeah.
But
Philly's just like a small town.
yeah, yeah, and it's spelled
Yeah,
differently too. It's not short for Philadelphia. It's not. It doesn't even start with a P. It starts with an F.
yeah.
Um,
Phil
um,
like Phil.
and well, Titus gets attacked by a bear, like a mutated
Yes,
bear.
a mutated bear. I'm blanking on the name of the bear, but that's a bear.
Hmm.
I think they're in Fallout 3 and 4.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember them in the first two games.
And
But yeah.
Titus, like Maximus saved Titus from the,
Mhm.
but he was still bleeding, still basically dying. Like he's kind of dying, and Titus reveals himself, his face, right? Michael Rappaport's the actor. You see Michael Rappaport and
Right.
other stuff, you know what I'm talking about. He's keep berating, Maximus. Like, you're gonna die here. You're no good. You're gonna die. Whatever, right? Keeps
Yeah.
berating
Well,
him.
they're gonna kill him
Yeah,
because he was like saying that he was useless and
yeah,
he didn't defend him and stuff.
yeah. And even though he kind of shot the bear, I mean, like whatever.
Yeah.
And as to the point where Maximus thought that this guy is not worthy to be a knight, right?
Right.
Like this guy, people like this should not be worthy to be a knight because knights are meant to, like you would think the knights are meant to protect people, right? Uh,
Yeah, they really aren't. They're
yeah,
there to
yeah, asshole.
just
Yeah,
scavenge the wasteland and
yeah.
get the technology and,
He
like I
kind of,
said, this is essentially a cult.
yeah, yeah. And so he doesn't kill. I don't think he kills the guy, but I think he just has him die.
Yeah,
Just
he
leaves
just
him.
lets him die. He doesn't give him a stem pack.
Yeah,
Just yeah,
and he takes
the
the
power armor.
power armor, yeah, for himself, right? And then they go to that town, um, where she meets Lucy, where he meets Lucy. Lucy's at the shop. Wants to find her
Right.
father, because the father's been kidnapped by Mulder. Yeah, Mulder, I think that's her name,
Mhm.
right? Tells her, and you could tell Lucy is kind of oblivious because
Right.
she was raised in the surf in the not in the surface,
In the
but in the
vault.
vault. Yeah, to oblivious
Yeah,
how
they have
the
the
real world.
golden rules and
Yeah,
all these different things like about
it doesn't
their
apply up.
morality.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't apply up on the surface.
No.
She's learning as time goes on. It doesn't apply on the surface, and you see all the you see uh now there's a bounty on the guy, right? Because the scientist is there with the dog with the fusion core,
Yes.
right? And you see the ghoul is just sitting in a chair. Sees the guy, shoots him in the leg, shoots his foot off.
Yeah, because he's also looking for the Enclave scientist because there's a bounty on him. So
Yes,
everybody's pretty much going after him.
and he's the target. Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
target. Um, and he just annihilates everybody else. Like whoever shoot, he just annihilates everybody there. That's and and you could and then Maximus comes up in the power armor. Oh,
Right.
you know he has a by the way he has a crush on Lucy. You could tell.
Which, by the way, I think they changed the way that the power armors fly because I think they're supposed to
Yeah,
have jetpacks, not like Iron Man like
yeah,
powers.
yeah.
But yeah,
And they had the shop owner had her partner put on a kind of like a not really a fake foot, but kind of like something that's for the guy to walk on. That the Mike
right.
Amis's character. Unfortunately, like later on in the next episode, he dies because he can't really make it and stuff.
Yeah, and he just decides to kill himself too because he takes a cyanide pill and he's just
Yes,
like
and he tells
the thing they want is the cold
This thing in
fusion
his
that's in
head.
his
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Yeah,
And he tells her to decapitate him. And that's the whole.
right.
The next few episodes with the head was funny too. Like how the head's being.
Yeah, they just like abuse the hell out of that
It's like
head.
it's like a potato going everywhere, man. Like, oh my god, yeah, that they
Yeah, they had
abused
it
the
kissing another head at one point,
head.
and like,
Yeah.
you know, just like straight up abuse.
And the ghoul had to follow them, right? They go to the I forgot what city it was. But Lucy and there's that what's the creature called in the water?
Oh, the it's like a
Yeah.
gulper, I think. Yeah, that's an enemy that's like fairly new because I think it was in Fallout. It was in the DLC for Fallout 4. A
Yeah.
gulper. Yeah.
And while that was happening, Maximus was getting a new squire, and it was the person who picked on him the most, fortunately. And I just love how he's in the power suit, the armor suit, and he got to pick on the guy, but because he picked on him. But as they were walking, doing what their mission was, right?
Mhm.
He started to feel, I'm not gonna treat this guy like how he treated me as time went on. They kind of bonded, right?
Right.
Right. Uh, and then obviously with the Lucy, that the water beast attacked them, and the ghoul caught up to her, and and that
Mhm.
beast took the head, right? Took the head, right?
Yeah.
And now the ghoul kind of
To get the
captured
head,
her,
he's trying
used
to
her, bait her.
use her as bait
She
to
thought it
get
was torture. It
the
was
monster,
clearly
yeah, the
bait.
gulper.
That didn't work.
No, yeah, that they basically give up and they just have to leave.
Yeah.
So instead he decides to trade her in to get more radiation. Um, or what really need to know what the hell he was drinking because that is not in the games like at all.
Hmm.
Like so
And
um
as at days leave, Maximus, I forget the squire's name that replaced him. I forget his name. Um,
yeah, what was the squire's name? Because he was he like what they did was kind of funny. It's like he was the guy who was bullying Maximus,
yeah.
right, pushing him down, and then you learn why he was actually doing that. He was just like, oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have anything against the guy, right? I was just, that's
Thaddeus.
something Thaddeus, yeah, Thaddeus, that's his name.
It
He's just
happened,
like, I
but
didn't,
he was picked on himself.
yeah, he was picked on himself. So he just decided because Maximus was the new guy that he would do it to him, right? Pick on him, but it wasn't nothing. It wasn't personal, right? So
And he
that kind of like makes Maximus feel bad because this entire time, right? He just fucking hates the guy, right? So
and
and
you
you see
see
it comes back around.
and you see Thaddeus says when a new guy comes, I hope he basically says I hope they pick on that new guy, and Maximus doesn't get picked on anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Um, and he actually bonded, yeah. And but they go, and the thing is, it was funny. It was funny though because they got the head from that thing, and I thought Dash was done for by the Gulper.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna kill him off,
Yeah. Um.
but no.
But they got the head. They got the head right.
Yes.
Uh.
And so they
But
decide to celebrate, but this is where shit goes wrong.
yeah, because he felt bad and tried to tell the truth. We'll
Yeah,
get to that.
Maximus. Yeah, that happens later on, I
Yeah,
think.
and this
Yeah.
is where So the ghoul drops off Lucy at this
Super duper
mall,
Mart.
supermart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
those were in the games too,
with the
in Fallout 3.
Cogsworth robot. What's the model called?
Yeah, Consworth. That the whole stuff they did with Consworth was like perfect, man. Because
Yeah,
Consworth is a
I didn't know
companion in the
of Cooper.
games,
I didn't know it
and
was Cooper's friend,
yeah. What's that actor's name? He plays
Matt
Consworth
Berry.
in the game. Yeah,
Matt
he's
Berry.
voices Consworth, and it's funny. You can
Yeah.
if your name is common in Fallout 4, he will actually say your name, right? Like he'll say, my name, or he'll say Aaron or whatever. You can make him say a bunch of weird stuff too. Like you can have a character named Bastard and Ass and Dick, and he'll say all that stuff. It's really funny. But But yeah, it was cool to
Um,
bring back Consworth. Definitely
but
a
this Cogsworth was
cool
under
character.
that, but he was programmed to
Yeah, this one was
body part.
programmed to be a organ harvester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for these two guys who look like who sell
Yeah, who
organs.
was that actor? Who the guy who was the two dudes who were running it, the like stoners.
I know I recognize one of them from other stuff. I don't remember where. On the
I need
left,
to find out who the guy on the no, the guy on the left. I remember seeing that guy somewhere. But
yeah,
that
so
part
do
was
I.
funny as hell. That was really funny. I was not
And,
expecting
and she's like
it to
free
be a
them.
bunch.
She's like
Yeah.
free them because they free the ghouls are in control, right? And she's like free all of
Yeah.
them. Like I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, one of the
'Cause
ghouls was Todd Howard, who
yeah,
he's the director of all the Bethesda games. So that was pretty cool.
and yeah, and so they free the feral ghouls, which kills those two guys, right?
Yeah.
Um, and what's it? The ghoul comes back to that place, and they have tons of the stuff he needs, tons of it.
Right.
Yeah, and he gets picked up by, I guess, technically law enforcement in that world.
Well, I'm trying to think now because maybe what he was drinking was like an unspecified chem.
Yeah.
That's another thing in the show that they say drugs, which is not uh that's not like lore accurate. They don't call drugs in Fallout. They call them chems. And
Hmm.
there's like different chems, like there's Rad-X. Jet is the most famous chem in the Fallout universe. It you actually see the raiders in the beginning use Jet.
Yes.
Um, he like basically inhales it like a puffer, and then it like slows down time in the game, right? So you could actually shoot people better.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's other different types of chems in the game. So the thing is, like in the games, right? Ghouls do tend to consume chems a lot. There's a character who he kind of looks like the ghoul. His name's Hancock in Fallout 4. He's
Yes.
also a kind of a drug addict, and he pretty much abuses chems because it kind of makes him sane, which is kind of sad. But yeah.
And then yeah, Lucy ends up running into Maximus again because at this point Maximus and Thaddeus they
Mhm.
fight again because Maximus reveals the truth that he's not
Right.
really Titus, right? And Maximus destroys the power core, right?
The
The suit,
fusion core. He
the
takes the
suit-
fusion core.
so yeah, so the suit can't power up, so he can't
Right.
move. And he takes the head because that's what the Brotherhood wants. It's the head,
Mhm.
and he goes on his own, and stuff happens to him. We'll get to that, and that's where Lucy runs into him again, right?
Right.
And
After leaving the mart and
yeah,
killing the stoner dudes.
yeah, and they end up in Vault 4, which is a really weird vault.
Hmm. And that vault was shown in the beginning of the with Cooper, the ghoul. He
Hmm.
actually he does a commercial in that vault.
Yes, yes, and that vault was that vault is very different from the typical vault because a lot of people in that
Hmm.
vault were actually from the surface, and they were not exactly human.
Yeah,
Most of
they're
them.
actually mute. Some of them are mutants.
Chris Parnell's character was eye in the middle.
Yeah, he was a cyclops.
Yeah, um, yeah, and and it was weird. But the thing is, they worship Mulder,
Yeah, that yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Yes.
and they
That
got
also
naked
is a
for her.
mystery. I completely forgot about that.
They got
Yeah,
naked
they
for
call
her.
her the Flame Mother.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
and they were doing,
Completely forgot about that.
and,
Damn,
and they
that's
told, and they made sure not to go into. I mean, I'll get to the funny part. They made sure that, you know what, don't go into floor 12 or whatever it's called, right?
yeah,
And she does that, and it turns out they were creating creatures like monsters and stuff. But was it?
yeah. It was like, was it some breeding facility or something? Because they were
Yeah,
actually, I think they're trying to also make vault dwellers too, right? Because that's how some of them were. That's the twist of it, right?
yeah,
The twist is some of the original occupants of the vault were actually mutants and experimentations that revolted against the original Vault
Yes, and
Dwellers.
there's videotape of it. They
Yeah.
when they questioned their interrogation, right? They showed
And
they
that's why
yeah,
that Vault is comfortable letting in surface
yeah,
dwellers.
more
But
accepting.
the surface dwellers, but here's the thing, right? The surface dwellers were originally part of a community known as Shady Sands,
And
which,
that's a very important in this show.
yeah,
Oh, very important. And when you see Maximus getting comfortable, um,
they
in
have a
there, right?
weird ritual
Yes.
what they were doing to worship the Flame Mother, which is Mulder. They like drink blood and they get naked and
Why did they? Why did Mother didn't explain anything in the end about like why they worship her? Did they say?
they never explain any of that. That's what I'm saying. That's a big mystery because Mulder. So we'll have to get to that point because
Yeah.
Mulder is not a raider. She's part of an important faction, and we'll get into that.
Yes.
That's a because that's a big twist. That's why people are complaining online, Aaron. But yeah,
Okay,
we'll get
well,
into
yeah,
that.
yeah, you'll go in more detail, but it's funny at that end, but that part is like, oh, now for your punishment. She thought she get executed. No, they
Yeah,
just
she
told her to
thought she.
leave.
Yeah, they just told her to leave, which is really funny because it's like the entire time they were actually being held captive. That was you know, the thing they
Yeah,
were against. And they were just like, no, you're just exiled. Get the hell out. And they gave them food too. It's like,
as a
here's like
here,
2 weeks worth of food.
and Maximus comes to her aid and started attacking some of
Yeah.
them, and she's like, no, 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 stop.
Yeah, and he was like super skeptical of the vault, and then he was
Accepted.
like, nah, I'd rather stay here and stuff. That was pretty funny.
It's funny how he came to her aid, and she's like, stop, 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 and just letting us leave.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
because
god.
he was like beating up all the dudes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't a violent bunch. You could tell they were not a violent bunch.
No, it
Yeah,
was an interesting vault that there's like vaults like that where there is an experimentation, but they just don't
yes,
really care, or it's an actual forgotten experiment. There's one like that in Fallout 4 that involves like mole rats. That's another enemy that's didn't appear in the first season, but you get to see the cockroaches at least.
the
Those
cockroaches are
things
huge
are,
in this
yeah,
show.
they're
Oh,
annoying as hell in the games, but the mole rats are another one that's annoying.
hmm
We'll probably see them another season, but yeah, there's one that's in Fallout 4. It's like they don't realize that it was a experiment with like mole rats, and the vault just like carried on like normal. So there's vaults like that. It's interesting. Not
also guys,
everything is a successful experiment.
also guys, as they're getting closer to the location, because they have to go where Mulder is, right?
Mhm.
On the what's it called? What's the pickpocket? Not the pickpocket. What's it called again?
What?
It's from they used from the games. They use on their arm. The
Oh, the pit boy.
Hit Boy. Yeah, yeah. They use that. It has its location. It detects radiation. Right.
Yeah.
Does all that. They have and they
Does
go to
everything. This is a that was also another cool detail about the show. The pit boy does everything
yeah.
like the game. It shows you the map, the inventory, everything. That
Mhm.
the stuff they were doing with with the show, they were referencing so many things from the games. Like
Yeah.
even freaking the hacking mini game is
Yes.
in one of the episodes. The most and like the infamous hacking mini game from Fallout
Yes.
4. So it's pretty funny.
Also, they cross a bridge and there's two other people and they're far apart and they don't trust each other, right?
Hmm.
And they're like, put away your weapons. And this, it turns out those other two people were cannibals,
Yeah.
right? Um, yeah. So they get past that.
Oh, the
Also,
fiends.
yeah,
The fiends.
yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
fiends.
I
Fiends are
forgot
cannibals.
the
Yeah.
fiends. Okay, this is another. The fiends are a group in the games. I don't think they show up in Fallout 4. They're in Fallout New Vegas. They're basically like a cannibal faction that tries to eat you. They actually it was cut content because you were supposed to be able to join the fiends, but but yeah, I forgot they were a group. But yeah, it was funny that whole sequence because he gets shot with a tooth, which is disgusting. You're talking about the fiends at the bridge, right?
Yeah, yeah, at the bridge. Yeah,
Yeah, because that was before they go into the vault.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true too. That's true too. I
Yeah,
remember that. That was and the ghoul is looking for Mulder because when after she gets captured in the supermarket,
hmm
he reacquaints with somebody from he knows. Uh, uh, and he sees on and this person like it says he wants the government, whatever stuff like this, right? And he just wanted
right.
posters, and one of them is Mulder, right? It's like, why do you have this? And you see flashbacks because he knows who Mulder is from his past.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
Mulder is what was her name?
Oh, that's a
Her
good
real
question.
name?
Let's see. Let's see. Does she have her on here? Um,
Because they do say her name, her real name.
Lee. Is it her name? Her name is Lee Mulder, but I don't think that's. On the Wikipedia, it doesn't really give her actual. I don't know. But yeah, but Mulder is something
Should
from his
say
past.
her.
Yeah. Let me check.
I guess it is Lee Mulder. I think
Yeah.
her name is Lee.
Okay. So okay. Okay. She never changed it. It's the same name.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's from his past because this is at the point where he started not really just trusting Voltec, and he was starting to not to trust his wife a little bit, and she was hoping his wife was not falling
Yeah.
into that corporate greed stuff, right?
Well, his wife started saying a lot of
Yeah.
sus things, right?
Yeah.
Like she was like, "Oh, I'm trying to." She like the wife was like very paranoid and kind of anxious. Like she was trying to secure a vault for them, but she tells uh, uh the ghoul or Cooper that she wants a good vault for them, and that's because she was aware about the experiments that Voltec was going to
Yes.
conduct during the post-apocalyptic end. So that was kind of met. So he started like picking up on that, and he was kind of
And
spying
his
on her,
friend
and
and his friend who was also another actor, fellow actor,
yeah.
the Native American friend, right? I think it was Native American.
Yes, yeah, he was Native American. He was a another actor.
Hmm.
And he's like, Voltec.
It's not
They
all
were
what they
thinking
say.
that
Yeah.
Voltec was going to do something shady, right? They
Yeah.
were going to potentially start a nuclear war. And he was like, "You should come and listen to the scientist who, her company. They don't say what
Mulder.
company it was. Maldair, yeah.
Yeah.
She made this technology that's called the cold fusion. That is basically, infinite energy.
Yes.
And essentially, Voltec bought that company and, threw uh threw away the technology because they were scared of the potential ramifications of infinite energy, and so that's why she was speaking out against it, and that's why Cooper was there to hear her. And she knew Cooper, right, because he is the face of Voltec, even though he's not involved with the company, right? He had no understanding what they were doing, even though he was the face of it. And so we get to, that was in the later episodes. You get to really find out about what was going on
Hmm.
behind the scenes, and like a character like Bud, but who was I think he was a West Tech employee who now works with Voltec, and he was the guy who designed the power armor, I think it's the T60. I think so. Because there's different power armor types beyond the one that we see in the show. But yeah, that one had a flaw in it, and it was because of Bud, right? Bud
Hmm.
designed that one power armor, and Bud's kind of obsessed with Cooper's wife, and like a weird talking on the phone and telling her all these different things, and that was because Cooper was directly involved with the experiment in one of the vaults where the executives would go in cryogenic chambers, right?
Yeah.
And it was an experiment that was called Buds, Um, so and you get to see that at the ending of the show, Bud's Buds, what the experiment actually was. And Bud is still alive. Bud is a brain in a jar,
Yes.
little robot
Yes.
who oversees Vault 3031. So that was the the mystery. Which there's other people like that in Fallout. Um, their brains are trapped in a jar. There's actually a dog like that in Fallout New Vegas called Rex. He's a companion that you
Mhm.
could talk to and stuff. There's other characters in Fallout New Vegas that were also like that. Um, so that's a very common, with robots and brains and all this type of kind of looks like 50s sci-fi movies, you know. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of robots like that. I'm surprised there wasn't a lot of. I mean, you see Consworth, but there was a Tromicton. I think it's a Tromic. I can't even say a Atomictron.
I think that's it. Yes.
Yeah, there's ones they're kind of like security robots. Um, there's a lot of robots. Like in Fallout 4, there's the DLC where you can build robots and stuff. Actually, you know what? Now that I remember it, this was another Easter egg. There's a robot who, I think it was in the first episode, you actually see it buried in the desert, and that robot is Pam. And Pam, I thought it was interesting because Pam is a character who can predict the future and was
Hmm.
heavily involved with predicting when the bombs would drop. And that was an actual theory about who started the war. People thought that Pam was responsible for starting the nuclear war because she knew that it
Yes.
was inevitable, and so she just fired the nukes herself.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a pretty cool Easter egg that she was there. Her or at least her model was there. You could see in the dirt in the desert. Um, but yeah, that's a pretty important character in Fallout 4. I think she's also a companion, Pam. So yeah.
So yeah. So oh, and Thaddeus. Turns out his foot was badly hurt because a little scuffle with Maximus,
Mhm.
and his toe was like hanging. It was like basically
Yeah.
um.
Yeah, and also they had that reoccurring character, the snake oil salesman. That guy was
Yes.
really funny because that was totally something that you would see in a Fallout game, like where in one of the episodes Maximus heard like two dudes arguing, and so he grabbed one of the guy's heads, and the other guy ran off, and it turns out the guy who was running off was actually raping the other dude's chickens. It's like
That's
that's totally
disgusting.
something
How
that
is
would
that
be in the
possible?
game.
How is it
I don't know.
possible?
You just find disgusting people like
Um,
that in the games.
I
But
don't know
there's
how it's
so many.
possible to rape chickens, but I don't
I
know.
don't even know. There probably is a disgusting way.
Ew, I don't want to know.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that guy, you actually see he comes back over and
Couple
over. The
times,
guy, the
right? I think
chicken.
it's
Yeah, a couple of times he shows up a
it's
couple of
like it's
times.
kind of like a reoccurring character for some reason.
Yeah. So he was pretending to be a doctor to help Thaddeus or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Thaddeus. Yes.
Yeah, and so he was just, he's a bullshit doctor, and so he was like, "Oh, take this and take this and take that." But it turns out that one of the medicines that he gave him,
Was
which we don't
cool
know what it
stuff.
was, turned him into a ghoul. Which,
He hated. He talked because in early episodes he talks a lot of trash about Ghoul, bigoted stuff about the ghouls.
yeah,
So yeah, it was kind of foreshadowing that, right?
yeah, that he became. But this is another thing that
Yeah.
he has to reappear that character in
Yeah,
another season because
as a
like I
ghoul.
said before, ghoulification, as it's called in the games, is not known. There's no science behind it. So the fact that he took a drug that turned him into a ghoul, that's a pretty big revelation. Like
So
that
is he?
doesn't happen in the games at all. That's not possible.
So there
So
ha- So now maybe in the show there's a scientific reason now. Maybe they're going
yeah, we might get to learn how people can turn into ghouls.
yeah.
I think that's a really cool idea to explore. And you could probably present more mysteries because, yeah, why do some people turn feral and others don't? My assumption was always that, and this is something that I thought for some time until I was watching some videos recently. I thought it was feral ghouls come from like loneliness and isolation. Like that's what I thought it was. Because typically when
Mhm.
you find ghouls in the game, they're like in abandoned areas that like literally no one's around. So it kind of makes sense that ghouls are just like people who, they kind of were loners or people that got lost and they eventually turned into ghouls. But again, it's not really explained because there's other characters like that. I mentioned the boy in the fridge. Well, the boy
Yeah.
in the fridge was in that fridge for 200 years, and even his family who were still around after 200 years in the same house. So, yeah, it's really weird. The ghouls are not, there's a lot of ghouls. There's actually a ghoul city in LA that unfortunately they don't show in the
Mhm.
show. I think it's called Necropolis. I might be wrong. It's like the city of the dead. Um, but yeah, it's a city that, ghouls and mutants live in. I'll have to
Yeah.
see because that's in Fallout 1. Because Fallout 1, the location is the same location as the show. Just so people know. Fallout 1 and
Yeah.
2.
And so the ghoul doesn't know. Cooper, not Thaddeus, doesn't know the location of Mulder is.
Right.
So yes, he goes to this I guess this man, very poor man, and he has kids, right? Turns
Hmm.
turns out he has three kids, a daughter and two boys, but I think he killed the older boy, who apparently ran with who joined Mulder's crew, right?
Right.
Right?
Yes. Also, that also. I keep doing this. I'm gonna have. Okay. Anyway.
Go ahead, don't worry.
Okay. The So the show without realizing, because again, this is like the big reveal at the ending of the show that there's so many references to New Vegas in the show, and
Yes.
so that dad uh was a ranger of the NCR, and he had the ranger outfit that is like the main guy on the cover of New Vegas is wearing the NCR ranger outfit. It looks badass as hell, right? It's like probably the best armor in the Fallout series. Everybody loves that armor. It's freaking cool looking. So him and his son were using it to salvage and
Hmm.
the wasteland. So that was a really cool reference to see. Just and we're probably going to see more of them because of the ending of the show. But yeah, I just
And
wanted to point that out.
his other son knew the whereabouts. Didn't want to
Yes.
give it up. He got shot for it. Um,
Yeah. The ghoul shot him, right? It was the ghoul
yeah,
who killed him.
yeah. That gave obviously now he finds knows the location of Mulder. Uh, so the finale we get to a point. I mean, yeah, the finale we get to a point where Lucy, because Maximus and Lucy split up again, and Maximus is picked up by the Brotherhood, and he was gonna
Yeah.
get punished for betraying them, kind of,
Well, essentially lying to them.
executed, lying again. He was gonna get executed.
Yeah, because he lied to them, right? He said
Yeah.
that he didn't tell them that Knight Titus was dead and that he was still alive and and then he also, by the way, the head, right? Because he took away
Yes.
the head and it wasn't the
It was
right
a
head.
fake head. It was a fake head.
Yeah, and so his friend basically stops the elder from killing him. But
Then you
was it in that episode or was it in the last episode? The elder basically tells Maximus that he wants to kind of like start another brotherhood,
yes, he
like
did.
essentially do
With
like
them
and
helping him. Yeah.
yeah, with him helping him, which by the way, that is very common. That's something that you see a lot in the game, where a lot of elders want to break away from. They just don't agree with the rules of the Brotherhood of Steel, so they rather have their own
Yeah.
offshoot. So there's a lot of people like that. There's actually a key elder who that elder could show up in the next season. I don't think they would, but his name is Elder Elijah. And he is in New Vegas and he also has a very kind of like similar type of thinking where he doesn't agree with the Brotherhood of Steel and their philosophy and feels like they don't really know what to do with the technology because they do the Brotherhood of
Mhm.
Steel ends up with a lot of powerful weapons and I also have a theory about what happens in the ending because they get a very powerful source of energy, which is the cold fusion. And it makes me wonder if we'll see a weapon that they use called Liberty Prime, which is it's essentially a giant mech that they
Yes.
use. Um, and the last time they can't really use it all that often because there's not a lot of energy, and so this would actually be a way of destroying the wasteland, right? Um, so that's a theory that I have. I don't know if they will do that. I have a feeling they probably will because Liberty Prime. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody likes mechs, right?
Yes.
Having that in the show, a mech who's literally screaming, you know, fuck communism and fuck the Chinese, and we're gonna kill all the communist Chinese. It's just like very comical and silly, but yet it's it's cool. It's a cool sequence in both Fallout 3 and 4 where you're walking with Liberty Prime and he's just killing all the enemies, and he's just saying this like most funniest thing, like he's like, oh, democracy is non-negotiable. It's really funny, but I
Mm.
mean, I would love to see that in the show. Like, it would be such a cool moment. But yeah,
All right. Yeah. So yeah, and he knows where the head is, so he takes the
yes,
um. So the night the Brotherhood, he goes with the Brotherhood go where Mulder is hiding out, right?
hmm
But while that's going on, we got Lucy. Lucy gets to meet Mulder. There's a
yes,
ghoul, not a ghoul. There is a ghoul.
yeah. A ghoul at one of her camps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get to so Lucy arrives at the camp that Mulder is organizing. It's not a raider camp, by the way. It seems like it's a
The
sanctuary.
community. Yeah, it's
Yes,
your community. Yes.
yeah.
Um,
So that was a pretty big kind of twist. Okay, so
yeah.
so Lucy goes to her father, who's trapped, and Mulder is sitting there having dinner with a ghoul, which is a very
Very
significant
important
character.
role. Yeah, very
Yeah.
important.
Which,
And
by the way, we didn't get to see a lot of those type of ghouls. The ghouls who were like decrepit and zombie-like.
yeah,
We
that
did
was like
see
a
that
more
in the
zombie.
episode, but those ones were people who turned feral, right? They were actually
They're
normal
like
ghouls.
those feral ghouls were like from I Am Legend. Those people that turned remember I Am
Yeah,
Legend? They live in
yeah,
the
yeah.
in
They're
the
kind of, but I
yeah
mean, like in the series, right? Because you
yeah
see, like in the show, right? That the feral ghouls that we saw, those were people that
yeah
just turned recently because they had clothing, and that's
yeah
not something
yeah
that happens in the game. Like you'll see some of those type of feral ghouls, but the most common ones are naked. They're naked and their face is all ripped up, and they look
yes.
like zombies more so than the normal looking ghouls, right? There's a lot of disturbing looking ghouls, by the way, in the games, like really kind of disgusting looking. Um, but yeah, that ghoul, I kind of hope we see more of those zombie like ghouls because that was pretty
and
cool.
and before we get to the father, when we get the flashback where Cooper,
Hmm.
he was being called on his phone at home by some involved guy
Yes.
who was a fan of him, right? It was assistant to his wife, who was a big
Hmm.
fan of him, right? He wants right, big fan of him, and then we get to reveal that obviously. But before we get to the reveal of that, we get to reveal how Mulder knows Lucy's father, and that Lucy's father is not all what he seems,
Right.
right? Like, um, and explains the city of was Sandy
Yeah.
Sands,
Shady Sands.
Shady Sands, um, and explains that Shady Sand, oh fuck,
Shady Sands. Yeah. It's
Shady
a.
Sands was once a city full of
Mhm.
people, a big city for its time. It was thirty four
Yeah.
thousand. By that time, 34,000 was a lot because
Well,
it's already
it's a for again those who've played Fallout 1 and New
yeah
Vegas and Fallout 2, Shady Sands is a capital
yes.
of the new California
New
Republic.
California Republic, yes.
Yeah, and in the show you get to see a lot of the flag of the new California Republic
Yes.
or the NCR. And I was talking about, the dad with his son was a ranger for the NCR,
Yes.
and that's why they had those outfits. And so the
And
NCR, the NCR is basically they are. like a very functional government that rose up to power after the Great War. And so Shady Sands was one of the big sanctuaries that they established. And it was a very functional community. We're talking like, they had water, they had
They had
food, they
everything.
had electricity, they had a lot of
They were yeah, like you
very
said earlier in this,
advanced.
like we said earlier in the stream, like civilization was coming back again. It was starting to come back again.
Yes, yeah, and Shady Sands was. I mean, there's a lot of them in that area, but Shady Sands was
And
definitely
but
was the
Voltac,
first one.
but Voltac wouldn't allow it. Would not
Yeah.
allow it.
So Henry McLean,
The father,
who is the the father of Lucy and was the what do
the
you call
fan,
it? Yeah, he was the fan of the
uh,
ghoul.
yeah, Cooper,
He
yeah,
uh he was he basically his wife so the story behind it is that he came out of that cryogenic chamber,
with the
had the
son when
two.
his son, when his son realized that when
Yeah,
investigated all that, yeah,
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 it's all like in the show, it's all like cut together perfectly where you're
because
understanding it all.
Mulder revealed that the father, Lucy's father, was not all it seems because he was born
Yes.
actually was around I mean centuries
Yeah,
ahead.
200 years,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, 2 centuries. Yeah,
Yeah, because
um,
he worked for Voltec. He was an assistant to,
Cooper's
Cooper's
wife.
wife. Yes.
Yes,
So
and
that was the biggest twist of
and
the season.
as they were showing him being as Cooper. See, the thing is, Cooper was waiting in the office, to meet Henry, not Hanks,
Hank.
Hank,
No,
right?
Henry.
Oh,
Henry.
Henry, yeah, Henry. As he was waiting, right? He had the earpiece, right? Like he was kind of
Mhm.
spying on Voltec's meeting downstairs with everybody, especially his
Right.
wife. And then,
And that's
discussing.
another
So,
big revelation is that meeting that
and
occurs
that,
with the
and
different
he was hoping his
companies.
wife. He's hoping his wife would see the error of what the stuff that she was saying, and he was hoping
Right.
that she didn't believe in that. And at a point, it seems like, yeah, you know what? He was smiling because it seemed like his wife was, against some of that stuff that was being
Yeah.
discussed. And then to a point where maybe we should nuke the bomb. Maybe we should nuke
Yeah,
this.
and then she was the one who was saying that we should be the
Yeah,
ones who drop the bomb, and she,
and
she says the famous line, which, by the way,
oh yes, the famous plot line.
if I had a big disappointment with the show, uh where was Ron Perlman?
Oh yeah,
There was no Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is the, everybody
yes,
knows Ron Perlman. He says the line, "War never changes." He's the narrator of the
oh,
Fallout series. He's
and
had multiple cameos in the game as well
and
beyond the narrator.
and the
I
way
think some people, hold on, wait. I think some people are saying that Ron Perlman does have like a cameo in the show
I haven't
as
seen
like
it.
a background, but I didn't see him.
Oh,
Um,
give him a role.
they were saying like he had like a background role as
Give him
like
a role, not a background. Give him an actual role.
he should have been the narrator. Like, in all honesty, I
Yeah,
think he should have said "War never changes."
yeah.
Maybe he was busy or something. Like, I'm kind of blown away that like Ron Perlman, everybody knows Ron Perlman, right? He was Hellboy. Like, he's a famous actor. Like, how
Clayface,
didn't
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, everybody's known
yeah,
them. Like,
kind of surprised he wasn't in the show. And he doesn't get to say the famous line. But there's always another season, right? But yeah, that was like my biggest thing that I wish they put in the show. But
yeah,
his wife says the line instead.
and when his wife says it, you saw how Walter Goggins, like one of the best things I've seen on TV, how his how he how he reacted, how he was
Yeah,
like
he was just
couldn't
sick to
say
his
anything.
stomach. Which
Sick to his
by
stomach.
yeah, he was sick to his
And
stomach. But in that meeting, you get to see you get to see one of the characters that I'm have on screen right now.
mhm,
This Robert House, Mr. House, who is
yes.
one of the main antagonists of New Vegas, probably one of I would say one of my favorite villains of all time. Great villain, like he's essentially Elon Musk, evil Tony Stark, and he's the CEO of Robco, which is the company that makes all the robots. And him and there's like an executive of Big MT, which is another pretty big important character or pretty big important company in Fallout New Vegas. There's also is it Repcon? They're like a satellites company, and then you also see West Tech. So a lot of like the big companies that were mentioned, especially in Fallout New Vegas, they were at the table listening, which is interesting because
Hmm.
Robert House, like just to give like some, because I think he's the only person who has like more than a few lines at the table. Like he even talks about his casino, like he makes a joke about his casino, and he talks about, he's kind of skeptical about the whole thing,
Hmm.
um, about the, what they would actually do to make money, right? And that's when his wife says, "Hey, we're gonna, drop the bombs and start this war." But
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a big cameo. When I saw, I was like, "Oh shit!" That was like the oh shit moment. The season finale for me, that was a great finale, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's when the show. This is when you're like, if you're a Fallout fan, you're realizing, oh shit, they're not pulling any punches. They're referencing the shit people want to see, right?
Yes.
New Vegas is 14 years old. Bethesda has done pretty much nothing with New Vegas. None of the characters reappear. We have no clue whatever happened to those characters. So the fact that we got a cameo from a very important character, that made the show for me, honestly. Like that was like, wow, the show was already great, but this took it to like, okay, now they actually care, right? Like they actually care about what has been going on in the other games. It's not just we're gonna do our own thing and the games are separate. No, this is part of the games. Um, and I love that about the show. They're continuing a major plot point of the games. Like I can't I
Yes.
never I would have never expect that to happen at all. I thought they would have done their own thing, to be honest. Which they are,
Well,
but it's a
you
continuation of
know,
it.
the show is gonna lead probably to the next Fallout game anyway. I mean, the next Fallout game has to come out
I
from has
I
to be.
hope.
Can you
I mean,
imagine
though,
if
I
it was
think I
different?
think the thing is like I don't think we're gonna get Fallout 5 anytime soon. I
No,
mean, we
because
just got
no,
Starfield,
Elder
Elder
Scrolls
Scrolls
is the next game.
6.
Yeah, that's the next game
Yeah,
after
which by the way,
Fallout.
I saw Anthony say that Todd Howard was asked about the Elder Scroll TV show and he said no, which makes sense. The Elder Scrolls is not like Fallout.
No,
Fallout
no, no.
has Fallout's world is very unique. Elder Scrolls, I wouldn't say not so much. And also, I think there's a lot of fantasy shows right now.
Elder
So
Scrolls, Elder Scrolls doesn't like takes takes around different time periods though. Like,
yeah, but I also think it's
how do
not
you
unique enough
what's the
for a
starting
TV
point?
show.
Yeah, how do you do? How's the starting point for Elder Scrolls? Like, where do you do the starting point?
Yeah, I mean, where would you start?
Yeah.
But I think an Elder Scroll TV show doesn't make sense, but I think a movie would make sense. We don't get a lot of fantasy movies as of
No.
recently, so I think that's more likely the Elder Scrolls movie. Because there's no way Bethesda's gonna just go, yeah, we're not gonna do anything with Elder Scrolls, one of our most arguably just as popular as Fallout. So I think a movie's more likely. I think a movie makes more sense too.
I don't think they
M-
could do either. Honestly, movie or TV
I-
show for
I'm
Elder Scrolls.
I'm gonna say movie. I'm definitely gonna say movie.
I'm gonna
When
say
when it's
movie.
announced, you can refer to this clip where I say it's gonna be a movie.
Okay, I'll take the loss if they do a movie or a TV show. I'll take a loss for either.
Yeah, we'll see about that. It's gonna be a long
and it,
time
and
before we
it'll
hear
probably be
anything.
Amazon. It'll probably be Amazon. It'll probably be, you know what? Amazon did a good job with Fallout. Um,
Maybe not, because I mean,
yeah,
Amazon is doing
if it's a TV show, it'll probably be Amazon. If it's a movie, it won't be Amazon. I don't
well.
think they're
Well,
going.
the reason why I would say not Amazon is because they're doing Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings,
that's true too.
so I don't, and
And they're
and
doing God
also
of
the Wheel
War.
of Time.
And they're doing God of War. It's not the same kind of fantasy, but it's still fantasy, in a certain aspect.
Well, yeah, they have a lot of
Yeah.
similar. That's why I say movie. I think a fantasy movie. Where I don't.
And
Are we getting another Lord of the Rings movie anytime
no,
soon? I don't think
this year
so.
we're getting a Lord of the Rings animated something, aren't we?
I don't even know.
I think we're getting something animated from Lord of the
I
Rings.
think the Elder Scrolls movie makes the most amount of sense
Yeah, yeah.
because
It will
there's a
be
lot of creatures. There's a lot of different,
I
the
just
cat people, the
I
lizard
just don't
people,
know.
all this stuff. So
I just don't know where to start.
I
You
mean,
do
they'll figure it
Dragonborn?
out.
Do you based on Dragonborn like on Skyrim?
I assume it probably would be because it's kind of cool. Got more
Um,
cinematic, like I guess, but
cause like what you got the reason why they haven't done Elder Scrolls in a long time is because of the success of the online game.
yeah, and also because they've been busy with other stuff.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true too.
since Skyrim, I mean, we had Fallout 4, Fallout 76, you know,
Starfield, yeah, like
Starfield.
hmm
So we are getting. I mean, we'll probably get Elder Scrolls 6 maybe like 2028, 2027, maybe. Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna be a while. That's why I say Fallout 5 is
yeah.
not happening anytime soon.
That's
But here's the big but. Here's the big but. Microsoft, who owns Bethesda, also
yes.
owns Obsidian, who made New Vegas. So they could, if they wanted to, if Phil Spencer really wanted to, they could make Fallout New Vegas too. It's possible now. They could do it. I think after, I mean, we'll get into it because let me just say it, okay? The ending of the show,
Go
we
ahead. Yeah.
see New Vegas. We see New Vegas. The
Yes.
next season of the show is going to take place in New Vegas, which, listen, as a massive Fallout fan, this is probably that made me super fucking happy. I fucking screamed when I saw the fucking New Vegas, the Lucky 38. I was like, holy shit, they're actually gonna do it. This is like I haven't been excited. Well, to be fair, the X-Men show made me really excited, but I haven't been excited in a very long time for uh, a franchise, a television franchise. I was like, damn, we're actually getting a continuation of arguably one of the most popular, best RPGs of the last 14 years. Like, this is a very, very big deal. I don't think people realize, like, if you're not clued into Fallout, you really do not realize how much of an
hmm
impact New Vegas has on so many people. Great characters, great storylines. The game itself, if you haven't played it, you have to play it. Like there's no questions. You got to play this game. Um Especially now that the next season is dealing with New Vegas. We're probably going to see, like I said, Mr. House. There's other factions too that I would love to see. I would love to see what happened to the Legion, which is just a crazy fucking cult. Very funny but very dark and sadistic. They have like slaves, and they pretty much just use women as like breeding tools. They're sick, but at the same time they're like covert gays. It's really
hmm
funny because it's like they're like, yeah, you can't be gay, but meanwhile they're like having sex with each other. It's fucked up. It's the games,
Hey.
man. Like, yeah, that group is really like they're basically like the
Oh,
villains of the game.
the show will
The
do it,
Legion.
man. I mean,
The show's
show.
definitely gonna do it, but
Yeah.
you got the Legion. Like I said, Mr. House. Also, it's kind of sad, but yeah, like it is actually really sad that what's his name? Is it Perry Matthew, the guy who just passed away? He was on
Yeah.
Friends. He was
Matthew
Matthew
Perry.
Perry. Yeah, I get it mixed up.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry had a role in Fallout New Vegas. He was Benny. Now Benny does die in New Vegas, but it would have been cool to see him show up in the show because he used to like talk about Fallout all the time. Like the reason why he got to play Benny, this was like a big meme like long time ago, man. Like he went on the Ellen show and he was like praising Fallout 3, and Ellen was like, what the fuck is like Fallout? And she was making fun of him. And because he was like praising Fallout 3, that got him the role for Fallout New Vegas. So
I
it's
didn't know he
sad that
played
he
the.
passed away, man, because he was such a big fan of Fallout. I remember that, man. It's really sad.
I'll be right back. I
But
gotta go bathroom. Continue
yeah, but
saying.
I'll continue. But yeah, like I'm just blown away. I'm blown away that we're getting Fallout New Vegas. Um, yeah, that Jonathan Nolan when he makes good stuff. Well, yeah, well the thing is, Jonathan Nolan. I've said this multiple times when we were streaming. I said I had Jonathan Nolan came out and he said, he loves the games and He was addicted to it, and when a creator, especially in Hollywood, when they come out and they sing the praises of something they like and they're working on it, that usually means they're going to make a fucking masterpiece. I'm sorry. It hasn't happened in any sort of way. We can go back to freaking Marvel. We'll go back to what James Gunn, Kevin Feige, the Russo brothers. There's so many different people who, when they sing the praises of the thing they like, they pull up and they make some of the best shit in that series. So when Jonathan Nolan was saying, "Hey, I love Fallout 3 and I was addicted to it back when it first came out and it's such a beautiful world," and when you actually hear him talk about it, it was like I knew the show was going to be good. I could care less what the fan base was saying. And on top of that too, I used to always say that Jonathan Nolan was the reason why Christopher Nolan's movies were so good. He was the one who wrote Momentum, like the story, the short story. He wrote, uh, I mean, he's credited on Nolan's best movies. And when he wasn't, they were never really my favorite Nolan movies. So, I mean, obviously, Oppenheimer is different now. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
can't say that anymore. But Jonathan Nolan, I never slept on Jonathan Nolan. I always knew that he would fucking deliver with the show. And he didn't just deliver, he went above and beyond. Going and doing New Vegas and making a sequel, that to me, you'll get praise until the end of time just because you did that. One of the biggest shocks of the show. I don't think there's going to be a show anytime soon that is going to be that shocking for me.
No.
Um, none. But yeah, the second season, there's a lot of unanswered stuff, just like in normal Fallout tradition. A lot of mysteries, a lot of intrigue. Because one of the another reveal is that Mulder was essentially working with the NCR, and that her group, the Sanctuary that we see at the ending,
Yeah.
that was the remnants of the NCR, and this
From
is where this is where a lot of people, Aaron, people were pissed off because in the show, the Sandy Shades, the last time we heard about it was in New Vegas, and there was no mention of it being bombed, because the events of
and
it
now we
being
know why it's
bombed,
bombed.
yeah, we know why it's bombed now, but it's the timeline doesn't match up, right? Which I assume it's either a continuity issue or
Okay.
it's not like that's why people are freaking out. They're saying that Bethesda got rid of Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 1 and it's retconned, and none of that is true. And a lot of people, like, even I was on Threads, and one guy on Threads was like saying, "Oh, the show is blasphemous and they ruined the entire series." And I was basically trying to tell him like, "Hey, first off, the NCR, because this is the big thing that everybody's talking about, the big reveal is that the NCR fell. Now, if you played Fallout New Vegas, the NCR was still like a major faction. They were still a major government that had a lot of power. And the whole game is about the NCR trying to wrestle power away from the Legion because they're trying to get Hoover Dam. And Hoover Dam is sort of supplying the energy, or electricity of New Vegas. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we don't know what ends up happening at the ending, right? We don't know what ending is going to be canon now that the show is going to, we're actually going to see the events of New Vegas after the games, right? What actually happened? Who actually took over? Did Mr. House succeed? Did the NCR succeed? I doubt the Legion succeed, right? Because they were the villains. Or did your main character, was he the one who took over the Wasteland, the courier? Which I don't think they would do that. It would be kind of cool, I will admit, if we actually saw the player character as like a mysterious person that was maskless and you didn't know their gender. That would be cool. I would say honestly they should eventually do something like that because in the games they have mentioned our characters, right, in other games. Actually, there's a theory that the character in Fallout 2 is like an old man in Fallout New Vegas, and there's a lot of like hard evidence for that. So, uh, like listen, this show can last for a couple of seasons. There's so many different things you could explore. Like I said, the super mutants, what happened to them in Fallout New Vegas with the Nightkin. The Nightkin is another like offshoot of the super mutants. What happened to, you know, the gangsters who were controlling the casinos in off New Vegas, right? The three families. What happened to them? So many different things that we don't
Yeah,
know.
I
And
mean,
you know, it's gonna be cool to see like the kings who are like these like impersonators of Elvis, right? They all think they're Elvis. Is really funny. Like there's just so much stuff you could do in Fallout New Vegas or a season in New Vegas. Um, as you could tell, like I'm fucking just I love this stuff. I love Fallout. I love the games. I love everything about them. Um, so like this show, on all honesty, I would say I don't give a shit. It was a 10 out of 10.
do
I'm like
you,
going to go back
do
and
you,
watch the show
do
again.
you like it? I have a question for you. Now, I don't know if it's hard for you. Might be. Do you like it better than Last of Us?
Do I like it better than The Last of
I
Us?
do. For me, I
Uh,
do.
here's the thing. I mean, the fact that they're continuing New Vegas, new characters. I love all the characters. Like maybe my least favorite character, I would say, is Maximus, but he has an interesting path to go down, so I'm not going to judge him too much. But I love the Ghoul. The Ghoul is such a typical badass Fallout character that you would.
Yeah.
He feels like a character you would meet in the games, and everybody would like talk about him. I mean, I
Yeah,
would
he does.
love. I would love to see Walter
He,
Goggins in a
he
Fallout game. That
in the
would be fucking
show,
amazing.
he's talked about like he has a huge reputation.
Yeah, he's talked about like people know him like he's
Yeah,
this like bounty hunter, right?
yeah, very
He
famous one. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the Fallout games, like what's his name? Liam Neeson was in Fallout 3.
the father.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, he was the father. There, so they're not opposed to, and like I said, Ron Perlman. There's a couple of other actors who were in you know, the games as well, but they're not opposed to having the actors show up
no,
in the
it's
games. So I
no.
would honestly, if they do a Fallout New Vegas 2 or if they did Fallout 5, it would be cool to see the Ghoul. I'm not gonna lie, especially if he was a companion in the game. That would be honestly, he would probably be the best companion in that game. Um just because he's such an interesting character. Like he's someone who was so involved with what was going on, and yet here he is still alive and no one's paying him any attention. Just like such a mysterious, cool character with interesting backstory, and him being so conflicted, like he's a good person at heart, but the fucking wasteland has just like eroded away, and
Pardon
he
him.
just
Yeah.
pardoned him. Just like I love the character. They really did. And Walter Goggins, like it not only is the writing good that makes him such a compelling character, but the
The
fact
way
that Walter Goggins and his performance, like man, dude, like talking about the show, it's like damn, ah, makes me tear up knowing that they fucking did this
and
game justice.
so like guys, like the ending, right? Like when Mulder was talking about her father, the truth.
Yeah.
Um, so like Shady Sands, right? A booming city had everything. Like it was on the like humanity was on the rebound. Voltec cannot
Mhm.
have that because Voltec believes they're the belief to rebuild humanity.
Right.
No other people, no other people, whether it's no other factions, or whatever. No, just them, right? So it turns out, Lucy's mother escaped
Yes.
the vault with Lucy and her brother Norm as they were young kids. All right, to
Mhm.
Shady Sands. For Hank or Hank or Henry, whatever, same thing. Um, okay, I believe he loved his mother, but he was bound. He was committed to Vault-Tec. He had to go.
Right.
He loved his kids. He retrieved his kids, but he
But she
he was
knew she just knew too much. She knew too
yeah,
much, right? She was the one who figured out that the water was being siphoned away in the vault,
yeah,
and she was the one who said, there's probably life above there,
yes.
and she was the one who discovered Shady Sands, right? And
And
she wanted to
Vault-Tec
take
is
her
lying the
kids.
whole. Vault-Tec was
Yeah.
lying like the whole time.
Yeah, and obviously that upset him. Now, I really question if that was just like he clearly bombed Shady Sands because it was a competitor, but I have to wonder if there's something else too.
So do you think it's just ingrained in his brain that Vault he believes so heavily that he and the other Vault dwellers are going to be responsible for bringing back humanity, and nobody else can?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like a
there's that,
cult
but
believes,
it's
kind of like a
to
cult would
to
kind of believe.
to be honest, like what he did, like that is again, like that's a big
Mm-hmm.
revelation, right? Because first off, no one in the games, right? We've never seen a Voltec executive or someone who was so closely involved with the experiments of Voltec.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he also had access to a nuke is also pretty surprising. Like, and that's why I question the whole idea of whether Voltec was 100% involved with the Great War. Um, I mean, the show doesn't answer
I
that, which
think,
is a good
I
thing.
think, I think they wanted to end the Great War, and the only way to do it is by not letting the majority of the population, and they'll be the one responsible for the rebuild, like a reset.
Well, yeah, that's what they say, right? They wanted to
Yeah,
do the reset, but I'm
yeah,
saying because you have to remember, I think in every state,
yep,
everyone got bombed. So they would
yes,
have had to had a lot of bombs. And on top of that too,
yes.
it just seems hard to believe. I think what's more likely and something that we'll see because again, we don't know the whole story. We just know that twist that they were involved. They were somewhat involved. They obviously have some access to nukes, but
Definitely to the government. They definitely had a connection to the government and to the military.
yeah,
They
but
had to.
I still think because again, if you play the games, we do know China did bomb
Yes,
the
yeah.
US. Like you actually do meet a CCP spy in Fallout 4 and he tells you that
and
uh they did
and there.
bomb. But here's the thing, this is the thing, right? This is how a lot of us knew that Voltec was somewhat involved because he says that even though China did bomb the US, he said they didn't bomb them completely. And so
Oh,
that created a lot of conspiracy theories about who was also involved with the bombing, right? Who actually shot first. And
Russia.
well, China, right? China's the big
I
antagonist.
know, but you can always
Um,
assume Russia
well, some
too.
people think it's aliens because there's aliens are in the games. I don't know if they'll ever be in the show, but they are very important to the games, and you actually
It's like a
hear the
file.
aliens.
It's so ridiculous. You could get
It
aliens
it is
involved.
it is. It is the aliens. It's well, there's a lot of aliens in there's cryptids. If you play a lot of Fallout 76, they introduce Mothman and the
Mothman.
Flatwood Monster. A lot of monsters show up yeah, and it's all
I
because
gotta
of the
play it
radiation
again.
and stuff. There's a lot of Fallout 76. They've been adding a lot of lore to the games. There's a lot of Lovecraftian stuff going on, a lot of weird characters like the mysterious stranger who's a guy who just he randomly shows up in gameplay and he like helps you get critical hits, and
Nice.
they describe him as like a Lovecraftian entity. It's like what the hell is
It's
this?
like this guy just appears out of nowhere just to help you.
Yeah, there's a guy who's like I forget his name, but he's in Fallout 4. His whole family, they're immortal. They've been around before the Great War. Like they existed since like the 1800s. That's how long these people were living. And there's so much like characters and weird events that happen and like we haven't even talked about the factions. There's the Institute who, they make synths that look like human beings and it's kind of like Blade Runner meets body of the sorry, the invasion of the body snatchers. um, what else is there? I mean, the Enclave is another group that was experimenting with mutations, and they're the government, and they were, they wanted to wipe out uh pretty much the wasteland, just like Voltec. Another company that is they kind of hit show at the ending a little bit is Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola is another fucked up company who they even though like pretty much they had a stranglehold on the soft
Yes.
drink market
Yes.
where like that's why caps
Yeah.
are a currency
The
is because
currency,
so
yes.
many people were drinking Nuka-Cola to the point where
And It
There's
looks
dozens, hundreds, thousands,
it's
millions of
very
bottle
it looks
caps.
exactly like Coca-Cola, like the design.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
model
and
is
they have
exactly
different types too. They have like
yeah.
dozens of Nuka-Cola variants, right? Just like Coca-Cola. Um, so much stuff like they didn't get into. I mean, all the stuff that, we don't even know what really happened in Hollywood too. So I'm
Mhm.
curious to see. When I saw that sign presented by Nuka-Cola, I'm like, oh shit,
You want
they're
to do
gonna
the
make fun of
sponsor of
Coca-Cola
podcast?
buying.
When also
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, they
yes,
were. Nuka-Cola, but it's kind of funny because I mean, in real life, Coca-Cola bought Columbia Pictures, right?
this is
So
true.
I mean, they're gonna have to make a joke about that. Um, so I mean, like I said, this is like a Marvel level universe. So much things happening, so many possibilities, so many different factions to explore, ideas to explore. There's really no end. There's never going to be an end to this series, and the TV show is bringing it to life. I mean, if we didn't get the TV show, we wouldn't. We like, in all honesty, there's going to be no Fallout game for, I'm going to say, 10 years. Like
Oh,
that's how far away we are from getting a new Fallout game, unless Obsidian makes a Fallout New Vegas 2, which, like I said, could be possible. I mean, it would be crazy if, like, the next year or even this year, Phil
be
Spencer
right
comes
back.
out on stage.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
okay.
Bye bye.
If Phil Spencer comes out on stage and says Fallout New Vegas 2, I mean, that would probably be one of the biggest announcements probably ever. Um, I gotta be real. That and like I don't even know. I don't even know what could compete with the Fallout New Vegas 2 announcement. It would have to be something crazy. I mean, The Last of Us 3 would be a pretty big deal, but we know that's coming. That's the thing. It's gotta be something that we don't really know. There's not a lot of stuff now that I think about it, but yeah, if you're still listening,
Okay. I'm listening. Sorry. Go
okay.
ahead.
No, no, I was just saying New Vegas 2 being announced, that would probably like I can't think of another game announcement that would be a really big deal. You know what I mean? Like because we know The Last of Us 3 is going to happen, but you know, we it's not going to be it's going to be a while until we get it.
Yeah, the next game of Fallout series is a long way off. Like, don't expect it short term.
Yeah, a
Anytime
long way
soon.
off. And honestly, given that Bethesda does a lot of stuff on the East Coast and this show is about the West Coast, I don't think any of the show, unless like characters cross, like literally walk across the United States.
This,
Red Dead show would, I mean, never say never, right?
yeah, never say never. Yeah,
Grand
but
Theft Auto 2, I mean, those have never gotten an adaptation, and I mean, that would be a
do
pretty
you
big
really need
deal if
it?
they did.
Do you really Grand Theft? I mean, no, Grand Theft Auto. You kind of seen those movies before. It's like, ah,
Yeah, but I think with
mm,
that game series, it's more about the characters, right?
yeah.
Like if you did a continuation, maybe, but I don't know how it would work.
If you do a Grand Theft Auto movie or TV show, it's just brand new characters. Set in probably like Liberty City or stuff like that. You don't need to. I mean, let's get Grand Theft Auto 6 out first, please. And that's and
Yeah,
that's and that's rumored to be delayed to 2026 now. Anyway.
that's fine by me as long as
Yeah.
they're cooking with the game.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
mean, that's another story that I'm very looking forward to.
Yeah. I Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. Um, I
I think
said this.
after this show, to be honest, the next thing, I guess the next big thing that they got to do, Mass Effect. This show
Oh,
pretty much proves to me
I,
that they can
I
definitely do
thought
Mass Effect.
Amazon was doing Mass Effect.
Nope, they haven't. I mean, they talked about it, but we haven't heard anything in a while. I think given the show, if when it's how popular it is, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of RPGs coming to the big screen. I mean, just what was it in September? We know that CD Projekt Red is making a Cyberpunk live action show.
Yes.
So
Oh, there's a lot of video game adaptations. You want me to see? You want me to get a list of video game adaptations?
Yeah, I think more RPGs though. I feel Mass Effect. I think after the show, Mass Effect is going to be the next one they're going to push because if they can do Mass Effect, honestly, Lucasfilm, you guys are gonna lose a big portion of your fan base. Honestly, because if Mass Effect has the same maturity as the games, like if the Mass Effect show is pretty much like this show, that's going to be massively popular. A lot of people have been begging for a mature Star Wars, and Mass Effect is definitely that series to do
Oh,
it. And in all honesty, I actually prefer Mass Effect
I thought that
to
was
Star
Rebel
Wars
Moon.
now. Nope, Rebel Moon didn't do that. Rebel Moon could have done that. That's the thing, right? Rebel Moon fucked up. A mature Star Wars series that has nothing to do with Star Wars. A lot of people are begging for that,
Okay.
and I think
When's this
Mass
article in?
Effect. Come back
Okay.
when they do a Mass Effect show and it's massive. You're gonna. I'm gonna be the one who
Here's
said it's gonna be
here's an
massive.
article from March of this year from IGN, all upcoming video games, movies, and adaptations. So from March 26th, so kind of recently, okay,
Right.
couple weeks old. So Borderlands, we have a date. We know that's coming out,
Yeah.
and I actually like the
Who
trailer
knows if
for
that's
that. The
gonna be
trailer
good.
looks fun. I thought the trailer looked good. I thought the trailer was fun. But yeah, it's still,
It's
it's still
we'll
question.
see. I mean I'm also a big Borderlands fan, so I'm kind of skeptical about that.
And you got Sonic
And
the
that's
Hedgehog
also a
coming out.
movie that has characters from the games, by the way. So
Sonic the Hedgehog, right? We know that's coming out at the end of the year. 3.
yeah,
Minecraft is just wrapped up filming. That's coming out next year. I thought they just
yes,
start filming Minecraft. They didn't start filming that. What they ended like in
yeah.
a week.
No, it's been filming for a couple of months now.
That was pretty quick months. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
Some movies get filmed for like 3 months now. It's like they're getting shorter and shorter. It seems like sometimes. But then they have to go back to do some reshoots and stuff like that. Five Nights at Freddy
possibly.
2. Yeah, that's getting sequel. Yeah,
Yeah,
Legend of Zelda. We
it's
know
coming
that's
out next
coming.
year.
Ghost of Tsushima has been announced. Yeah, Ghost of
Ghost of
Tsushima.
Tsushima is the
Until Dawn.
one. Hold on. Wait. Ghost of Tsushima is the one that I have the most faith in. I don't know when we're gonna get it, but
Oh my
that's gonna
god,
be a
this list is
badass
huge.
movie.
This list is huge. Legend of
That is a
Zelda. We
huge
know
list.
that. Until Gears of War. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Netflix. Gears of War is doing Netflix.
yeah.
Just not
Gears of
Zack
War.
Snyder, please. Mortal
Well,
Kombat. Yeah,
maybe with Zack Snyder. That's something actually Zack Snyder might be good in, but just tone down the you know
yeah. It's not.
pseudo
I mean,
philosophical bullshit. It's not, Snyder, you're not that smart.
Gears
I
of
gotta be
War.
honest.
Gears of War, like it has a good story, but it's not like a story like you have to
Yeah,
like Fallout,
it's more
Mass
about the
Effect. It's not like,
action. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not like that. Yeah,
You
make
got
a good
Return of
action movie with some cool aliens. That's really it.
so Return of Silent Hill. I guess another Silent Hill movie's coming
Oh,
out.
that's another something I'm looking forward to because it's based on Silent Hill 2.
Death
And the
Stranding.
Silent Hill movie, that's kind of underrated, I'll say that.
Death
Death
Stranding. Yeah,
Stranding,
I
I'm
know.
looking forward to.
Is Norman Reedus
Kojima,
doing that movie? Is Norman Reedus doing
yep,
it?
because Kojima's directing it. It's
Okay.
A24, so that's a pretty big deal.
There's no other choice. It has to be Norman Reedus, right? Like,
Yeah, well, Norman Reedus is the main character, so.
I didn't know Street Fighter was doing another movie. I did not know that.
Yes, by the guys who, what are those YouTubers? They just did Talk to Me. That could
I
be a
don't know.
cool movie. They did,
YouTube.
I forget their name, Raka Raka.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Days Gone. Oh, I know that game. Yeah.
Yeah, Days Gone, the guy who directed Shazam. That could be a good movie too. I like Until Dawn. And
Hey, you know,
it's getting a remake. So
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Yeah, that's getting a
I
sequel.
don't
We
think
know
that's happening.
that.
I don't think that's
Ryan Reynolds.
happening that.
Stray. Stray is getting a movie. Really?
Oh, Stray the
Ryan
cat? The cat is getting a movie. What? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I guess that was recent. I love that game. That makes sense though. That game is very
BioShock.
focused on story.
BioShock's a movie.
Yeah. BioShock is a movie on
Netflix, right?
Netflix. Yeah.
Okay. Space
So
Channel
hopefully it's
5.
good.
Space
Don't know what
Channel
Space
5.
Channel is.
Can they say the studios on the side who's doing it? They should announce the
Yeah,
studio.
they should. And put like the writers and the people attached to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Space Channel 5, Comic Zone, Mega
Mhm.
Man.
I had no clue they were making a Mega Man movie,
No,
TV show. I mean that's interesting.
Just
Should be an
Cause.
anime, but
Just
oh,
Cause.
Just Cause could be a cool movie.
Duke
That could
Nukem
be a
would be a
cool
fun
movie.
movie. Duke Nukem would be a fun
Yeah,
movie.
but they got to
They
get
get
John
John.
Cena.
Yes, yes.
They got to get John Cena for that one.
Gravity Rush. Oh,
Yeah, we know that. That was announced.
um,
They
Dead
showed
by
some
Daylight.
footage.
How you do Dead by Daylight? All the characters we
I
use are
guess
like
that
horror
makes sense.
characters from other stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
but there's also some original stuff in there.
Sifu or Saifu. What is it?
Sifu could be a cool movie, I guess.
Slime Rancher.
Oh, Slime Rancher has a movie. What the fuck? Okay, that's random as hell.
Arc Civil.
Yeah, Ark
Revival
Evolved. Okay, I
Pac
guess.
Man. Streets of Rage. Okay,
Streets of Rage is getting a movie.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll watch
Hey,
that.
we said the era of comic book movies maybe on the downswing. It looks like the rise of video game movies is on this upswing.
Well, yeah,
Video
they're
game-
pulling out all the stops. I mean,
Yeah,
this stuff better be good though.
Lately, some of the video game adaptations have been good. Stuff we haven't said we would say 5, 6, 7 years ago or 10
This
years
is the
ago.
thing. I mean, I hope with The Last of Us and this show that they can do like more
Yes,
serious original stuff and not just like copy the game, because
it's
that's like
every
the biggest
like,
problem.
it's always like one good movie to every 10 bad video game movies.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they did like a Doom movie again, but it has to be like very faithful to the games.
Yes. Where was I? Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. I guess that makes sense. It's kind of like Mario.
Yes.
This is a long list.
Sniper Elite,
Sniper Elite. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, they got to do the visual. When the people are getting shot, you got to do the X-ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not, it's not Sniper Elite. What's the point of doing this? It would just be a generic movie.
Toe Jam and Earl.
Okay.
Jack,
I mean,
Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Daxter. It
Call
says
of-
status unknown, but okay.
Call of Duty. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's been a lot of military movies that are like basically Call of Duty.
Yeah, but Call of Duty will definitely. People
they
would
should
just
do?
go out of curiosity.
You know what they should do? They should make a zombie version. They have zombies in it.
I'm sure they'll do that at some point. But the thing is, there's a lot of interesting Call of Duty stories. I mean, it's some of the characters too.
The Modern Warfare stuff is pretty good. Like, that's the best part of Call of Duty, I think.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Half-Life.
Yeah, that's a movie. They definitely TV show movie. They got to do that.
Saints Row.
I don't think that's gonna happen anymore.
Portal.
Portal. That could be interesting. Yakuza should definitely be a TV show, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil. Where's the Beyond Good and Evil 2? Don't make a movie before you can make the sequel. Stupid.
Oh, these are all movie sections right now. We'll get to the video games under the TV shows.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, movies, okay.
Yeah. Metal Gear. Yeah, we know Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, we know that Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
I think is still attached to play
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think the Division's canceled.
Yeah, wasn't it canceled? Unfortunately,
I think the pandemic. I think they said the pandemic is basically the reason why they canceled it. They're supposed to have a good cast. They're supposed to have Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain to be in it. I remember that.
Why cancel it? I know the story is about the pandemic, but like, why cancel it though? It's not like they canceled The Last of Us. You know what I mean?
Just Dance.
That's funny. Just Dance needs a movie.
It's gonna be like those movies where those movies have that, like, Channing Tatum music.
Oh yeah, do you remember? Yeah, Step Up and and those type of games. Yeah, or not games, movies.
Yeah,
that was like big in like the late 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yeah, nobody's done those kind of dancing movies anymore. They kind of maybe this will be a revival.
Yeah, you're actually right. They should definitely do a revival of that stuff. But anyway, Dragon's Lair. Splinter Cell. This says presumably canceled. I'm gonna say when the new game comes out, they're gonna announce it.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's canceled. And now we're gonna get to the TV shows and beyond. Well, Fallout came out a couple days before that. Arcane season 2. Yep.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, Legend of Lara Croft.
This
That's
is
the
the
Haley.
anime.
This is the Haley Atwell one, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I love Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
So
entitled Knuckles series. I think it has a title now. I think it's just called Knuckles,
yeah, it's
isn't it?
just Knuckles.
Last of Us season
Yep.
2. That's next year.
Yeah.
The Witcher season 4. Yeah, TBA with a new with a new Gerald. The
Yeah.
worst, the worst, the not the good Hemsworth actor.
People are more excited about The Witcher 4, not
What?
season 4. Huh.
Oh, the game? Yeah, they did say they're
Yeah.
gonna do the game. God of War. There is a bit
We
of
might hear
update.
about it next year.
There is a bit of an update on God of War. The writers have update of January that they're writing on it still. No director, nobody,
Yeah.
but they are writing. So that I think that's gonna happen. God of War.
We're gonna get that pretty soon.
Horizon.
Now looking forward to Horizon, but that's on Netflix.
So all of a sudden, Gears of War is a TV show too. Wasn't that in the movie
Yeah.
section?
It was in the movie too.
So they're not.
I don't know.
Did they say, definitely specifically?
Maybe they
say what
don't
it's gonna
know.
be? Yeah.
They didn't say anything about it.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Devil May Cry anime sounds pretty cool.
Twisted Metal. Yes, that was announced at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah, I love Twisted Metal the first season, so
Assassin's Creed. Wasn't Assassin's Creed announced like 4 years ago?
It's been, I think, it's like 4 years since they announced it.
So Splinter Cell may be canceled as a movie, but maybe a TV show.
Oh,
maybe that's what I assume. Castlevania, and here's Mass Effect. Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is could be Fallout level. That's I'm hoping.
Plague.
A Plague's Tale. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very story driven, but I don't know about the TV show. But we'll see.
Nier Automata.
No, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, they did fucking announce an Alan Wake TV show.
Yes, they did.
Haven't done anything.
Nier Automata season 2. Disco, yeah.
System Shock could be cool.
Isn't System Shock? Isn't System Shock canon to BioShock or same universe?
No, it's a spiritual successor.
Okay.
BioShock is the spiritual successor to System Shock.
Yeah. Alan Wake.
Listen, an Alan Wake TV show, you know, because I'm working on that video, right? So I know a lot about Alan Wake, and if A24 picks up Alan Wake and Control as a TV show, that's gonna be also another Fallout. I have to be honest, especially if they get the production value right. That could be a and the thing is, now that I think about it, Alan Wake kind of has very similar tone to the Fallout show. It could be dark. It also is very funny too. Very meta and weird. And Alan Wake, they're gonna have to do an Alan Wake TV show.
Yes.
No questions asked.
Alan Wake, System Shock, Grounded, Life is Strange.
My friend Pedro.
My friend Pedro.
My friend Pedro was gonna be a
Skull and Bones.
Bruh, Skull and Bones. I don't think that's gonna happen. Nobody likes the game.
I know. Child of Light and Brother in Arms.
Brother in Arms. Okay, interesting. I think those are just trailers, stills and trailers and stuff.
I think this is all this stuff is like officially confirmed.
I mean, we definitely think. I definitely think Nintendo's got some stuff we don't know about. Maybe Metroid.
Oh my god,
Metroid would be pretty cool.
Who should play Kratos? Who should play Kratos?
I don't even know.
Let's see. Come on, Christopher Judge. I mean, I know he does.
I mean, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see who they pick, because that's not Jason Momoa, please.
That's also, you know, they picked the obvious, right? Batista,
of course. Yeah. Let me guess. The Rock is there. Gerald Button. He doesn't even do TV.
Atreus. Oh, who should play Atreus? The kid.
The same. Well, the kid is an actor, right? So.
Yes. Also, this is based on the Norse mythology from the PS4 and PlayStation 5 games. Yes, yeah.
Right.
Jacob Tremblay, the kid. This kid's everywhere. Is this the kid who's in the Brie Larson movie? It's time to
stop with this kid. Yeah, he was in that Brie Larson movie.
I got a reward, right? The Oscar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet is too old to play the kid. The kid's
he's way too old. And Timothy Chalamet
Oh,
also.
shit.
This is stupid as hell. Whoever's like a big actor, I guess they just like no one wants it. Like, what are Jason Momoa with Tom Holland like as in the God of War TV show? Like, do you know how
Imagine that
garbage that
relationship.
sounds? Yeah. Like, do you know how trash that sounds? Holy hell! I hate
Okay,
fan
Paul Davis.
casting like that. Jeez.
Jeremy Davis. Yeah, I think this guy
Yeah.
could actually maybe Baldir. I don't know. Jake Gyllenhaal is Baldir.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Stupid, man. Like,
Well, Travis, I wonder why they picked Travis Field, because he played a character in the Vikings. He has to play
yeah.
another Norse mythology character.
Oh God.
Christian Bale. Oh, why? Because he played Gore, who was in a Thor movie, and as Thor is related to Norse
Baldur
mythology.
he doesn't even look like Baldur. Like,
I
the hell?
guarantee Christian Bale will not do a God of War anything.
No.
Freya.
Law.
I mean, Blunt.
I had. Oh God.
Kate Beckinsale.
Stupid.
Who's Danielle Busuti? Danielle. Oh, she does. Oh, she voices Freya.
Okay.
Oh. Lena Headey. Mimir. Oh, just a head? Okay, who?
Yeah, that.
You know, be perfect. Oh, you know, be perfect for Mimir. What's the actor's name? From Rat Race. What's his name? Oh, I forget the name, but I don't know who this is. Neil Duck.
I gotta say, these are some really bad casting
How
choices.
many guards are there? Oh my god, they're everywhere. Seriously,
There's
there's like
too
so
many
many
of
of
them.
Ewan McGregor as Mimir.
Ian McGregor, get the hell out of here! Get the hell out of here!
Can you imagine being an actor? You're auditioning for a role where you're just gonna be a talking head for the whole time.
I would do it. Sounds pretty fun.
It does. Brock, Nick Frost.
Get the hell out of here, Nick Frost.
What? Because he played a dwarf in the Huntsman movie with Snow White.
No one wants to know Nick Frost and no God of War. I get that character's supposed to be funny, but like, come on. The hell out of here.
Danny DeVito?
Get the hell out of here.
Because
Get
he's
the
short?
hell out of here.
You need a little short person to play. Oh my god.
He's too old.
Bryan Cranston? Yeah,
Bryan Cranston? What? What are we doing here?
Robert Carmichael.
Right.
I can.
Oh my god. Why Bryan Cranston? Like, no, this is gonna be some more dumb shit. Let's.
Oh my son!
No.
This is supposed to be a Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as the Dwarf Brothers. Is that? Yes. Oh my god, Charlie.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Charlie Day's voice as sounding like a dwarf from Norse mythology? It does. I don't think it.
Who wants to see that though? Like, no one who played God of War wants to see this type of casting. Like, get another comedian who's like could do like, you know, be serious but interesting. Like, come
Michael
on.
Cera? Are you kidding me? Michael Cera. Michael Cera.
This needs to stop.
Okay. Thor. If it's Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, please don't put Chris Hemsworth. They're gonna put Chris Hemsworth. Oh
yes,
my god.
Oh well, at least it's not Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
This guy. Right.
Please don't put Chris Hemsworth. Okay. We're doing good so far.
I know Thor has looks, but Thor, make him fat, please. Put a fat actor too. Yeah. He's fat in the game. Fuck. Why her? She did voice Thor.
Okay.
Josh Brolin as Thor.
Oh god.
I think I'd rather Chris Hemsworth.
Oh god.
Thanos is Thor.
No.
Odin. Okay, let's see this Odin. Charles Dance. Yeah. Richard. He did voice Odin. But does this guy sound like a threatening, like, and the wolf is Odin? Does he sound like
he didn't really feel threatening at all?
Yeah. Brian Cox.
Brian Cox.
Anthony
Oh
Hopkins.
hell no! They actually. Oh, they actually had the balls to. Oh my god.
Laufey. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the
I just cast
actors
her.
from like yeah.
Just cast her. I think Kate Blanchett.
What
No,
the fuck?
just make a Hella again. Then I'm kidding. Hella's name. Elizabeth Olsen. Um, I think she's too short for the role. Laufey's kind of tall. Isn't she like a
Hmm.
giant? I don't know.
I don't think she's that tall. I think she's just like maybe like 6 foot or
Laufey has
something.
like 10 minutes of screen time in the whole series, though.
Yeah.
Anna Taylor Joy, what? Because she was in a Vikings movie,
Yeah,
and
dumb.
now with the Northman, right? Great. Okay, we did that already.
Dumbass casting, I will say.
At least it didn't have The Rock.
Yeah, that's one good thing, I guess. Oh yeah, and I guess the link casting is just fucking what? Uh just stop. Just stop.
Is there any more casting stuff here we could joke around with? Do you think
I
there's a
guess
link casting
not.
there? No link casting stuff. I know
No.
if they did a list of link casting, Tom Holland's gonna be like number one choice. We know that.
Yeah, I hope they get like a fairly newish actor to play Link. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to
Yeah.
see the same actors play, give someone else a chance. Ghost of
Well,
Tsushima casting, I have the guy who was in Warriors as Jin Sakai. I think that guy perfectly. That he has the look, he's got the fighting
they,
choreography. He kind of looks like he could even be a Batman kind of character, so I
see,
forget his name, but the guy who's the main character in the Warrior, the TV show.
Warrior. Let me see the Warrior TV show. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, as the main character in Ghost of Tsushima. The Ghost of
Um,
Tsushima movie, like
and
they're really taking a long time to make it. I know they're doing
Andrew
Highlander, but fuck.
Andrew Koji.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're doing a Highlander movie with them. Yeah, they're going forward with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I think after Highlander, then they're gonna do Ghost of Tsushima. But please don't do John Wick 5. Like John Wick 5 has to be something that
She's gonna be in Ballerina, John Wick.
yeah, because it takes place before John Wick 4. But I don't know. I don't mind if you do a John Wick 5, but it has to be like years from now.
Yeah.
And it has to be like an actual like ending, like where maybe like he takes on the high table. That's it. Don't do anything else.
You know, yeah, so yeah, with 2.5 hours. That's a good
Yeah.
stream. Because tomorrow I'm gonna do another stream. We're gonna do X-Men episode 4 and 5. Two
Another
good
show that fucking what is going on? Back to back fucking amazing shows.
Yeah. Episode 5, I mean, there's 32 the main villain's gonna be. One theory
Yeah.
believes one is the main villain from Deadpool 3, might be it.
I hope not. I saw that. I hope
I
that's
know.
not true. I don't think it is though. It doesn't make
And
sense.
there's also another theory is the villain Bastion. Um, but yeah. Um, it's I like 4. 4 was kind of a two-part episode because it wasn't
Yeah.
really two stories. I thought
5 they
5,
went off. Let me just say this
5
right
was
now because I'm not sure if I'll be on that stream tomorrow. I'll try to because
5 went
I'm
really
not exaggerating when I say I think this might be the best thing Marvel ever
I
has
sh-
put out. Like
I
ever,
don't
ever.
disagree. I don't disagree. From Marvel Studios especially, and
I'm shocked that it was. I'm like, damn, this is better than anything they've.
uh,
I can't like. I love the Guardians movies, but holy shit, this was on a
this is
next
definitely
level.
up there. This is definitely up there. Like, it's
I'm kind of the thing is like, well, I guess I might have to come on tomorrow because I think it is going to be connected to the MCU. This episode, there's a cameo in this
I
episode that I'm like, oh shit,
I don't want
this
this
shit
to
is
be
connected to
connected.
MCU now.
I don't want it to be. And guys, like people are
Do you
so
know what
like,
cameo I'm talking
Captain
about?
America.
No, not Captain America. Somebody
Who?
else.
Who?
The Watcher makes a
Oh, the Watcher.
cameo in that episode.
Fuck the Watcher. But here's the thing, guys. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh
I've
fuck.
seen people. They confirmed that Captain America is going to be in the show. I'm like, guys, the
Yeah,
original series
that's
had
fine.
Captain
He was in the
America.
original show.
Yeah. So is Miss Marvel. So is Punisher.
Yeah.
So is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
Well, actually,
Spider-Man,
X-Men appeared in the Spider-Man show. Spider-Man not appeared in their show, but same thing.
But yeah, but Captain America teamed up with Wolverine
yes,
in the show, so yeah.
they're connected, man. And they got the people. I guess people that are surprised by it didn't watch the original show or don't know.
I'm fine with that. I just don't want
Yeah.
it to be connected to the
I
MCU.
know, because like, could it be? Is it going to be connected to Deadpool 3? That's the thing. You gotta like. I really hope this Wolverine is not the Wolverine get in Deadpool.
I hope that's not the case too. This is what I'm saying. Why do you have to mess up something that's a good thing? This show is good because it has nothing to do with the MCU. I'm sorry. Like, it has absolutely zero to do with the
Nothing.
MCU. Nothing. That's why it's fucking good. And on top of that too, the writing, the characters, the drama, like, you actually care about the characters. They actually take risks. They actually do shit where you're like, fuck, I did not expect that at all. That's why the show is good. The MCU, they can't do stuff like that.
Not
So
anymore.
please.
Deadpool 3, like
They-
me and Degrassi, Deadpool 3 has to be a hit. If Deadpool 3 does not hit, it's not received well. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about like positively the reviewed, right, and stuff like that, and by fans and critics. It's game over for Marvel. Officially.
Fuck, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm more excited about the Joker movie than Deadpool 3.
And you know what? Like, you know me on the Joker movie. You know my views on the Joker movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could possibly see that.
I wasn't even. Fuck, man. I'm like kind of feeling some type of way about the Joker.
You know what I'm gonna do? I scratch freshman year and go to do Spider-Man again, the animated series. Do that again. Do a new continuation of that, please.
If I was Marvel, I would do a lot of shit. I would make that Spider-Man show. I would bring back Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes, and connect it to the X-Men show. I would do a lot of shit if I was in control of that Marvel, man. Like, it would be.
Have your universe in animation and have your MCU live action.
Yeah, do the like. I'm okay. Listen, if they Secret Wars, you have the animated characters, right? It has to be all the animated characters, right? I'm talking like Miles and the Spider-Verse characters too. But like, don't make it like the X-Men in this universe are Hugh Jackman, like, and the Fox X-Men. Like, don't do none of that shit. I'm sorry. That's not, no one wants to see any of that. I'm telling you right now that if that's what it is in Deadpool 3, honestly, I really think the more these people hype up Deadpool 3,
Anthony, I think the Deadpool movie comes out before D23.
Doesn't it come out no, doesn't it come out like late January or late July?
Deadpool 3 comes out early July.
Oh, early July. Okay.
Yeah, let me.
So it is before.
Deadpool
I thought it was like maybe the same week.
No, late July, July 26th, okay. Deadpool 3. But I think D3.
Doesn't D3 D23? Is it happening this year?
Yes, it is. It got canceled last year.
Oh, it was canceled last year. Oh, okay.
It was.
Don't they usually do that in September or August?
Let me see.
They don't do that in July.
It's gonna in August.
Okay, well,
if they're gonna show anything D23, it'll probably be like maybe the Agatha show and maybe Thunderbolts and Captain America, maybe some Wonder Man or Daredevil. They might show some of that stuff at Comic-Con. Fantastic Four. They might show some of that at Comic-Con. Too.
But honestly, I really listen. I'm not one of these people that hype up Deadpool 3. It might be a good movie, we'll see. But honestly, I think Deadpool 3 is gonna be like Doctor Strange. That's my prediction.
Cameo hype.
I think it's gonna be cameo hype, but I just think the reviews are gonna be like I'm gonna say like high 70s. I can't see it being 80. I think high 70s is like high, like possible, like more realistic. Because I just don't think this. First off, this movie's being kind of rushed. On top of that, too, I just feel like it is relying way too much on the cameo instead of it just being a Wolverine and Deadpool adventure. I think it is just going to be,
I
oh, look at all the multiverse versions of Wolverine and all that's like that's what I really think the movie's going to be about. And has
oh,
setting up Secret Wars. That's really it.
oh yeah, well,
But that's not but that I have to be honest, that's not what I want in a Deadpool 3 at all. I don't mind you teaming up with Wolverine because that's I mean that was set up. That had to have happened at some point. But to set it up in the MCU, I keep saying this is I think that's a big mistake. That's a very big mistake that they should have never done. I think that honestly should have been maybe a twist in the movie. Like that shouldn't have been the marketing campaign. Or like super reliant in the
have you
beginning of the movie.
have you seen the Captain America 4 pictures? Like you see
Yeah,
Harrison Ford.
I did. With Harrison Ford and I think
Yeah,
did they make a joke about the fact that they changed the actor in the movie? Is that true? I think they did. It's
I
something
don't
about
know.
because he doesn't have a mustache, right? Harrison Ford doesn't have a mustache, and
Yeah,
Sam Wilson makes a joke about it. That's another movie not super excited about. I don't care. I make fun of
I
that
love the
movie all the
explanation
time.
for Thunderbolts, a group of anti-heroes. I'm like, they're not really anti-heroes.
Oh well, they kind of, they're. I think they've been hearing what I've been saying because did you hear they changed the name and they added an asterisk?
Asterisk.
Oh, I wonder why. Because it's not the Thunderbolts, it's the Dark Avengers. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, because they're not anti-heroes, right? Like, what?
The
Seriously,
Thunderbolts asterisk,
what?
the Dark Avengers.
If you have the Punisher in there, there's an anti-hero. Okay.
Well, most of the team is they're not straight up villains. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
but they're not
they
exactly heroes. They're not exactly. They're
well, they're
not
not
villains.
exactly anti-heroes because we've never seen them
Yeah,
be anti-heroes, but
exactly. That's my
they
point.
stop being villains, right? Like
They're more.
Ghost
You
is
know
not a
what?
villain anymore.
They're like to me they're actually heroes. They're just regular heroes.
Mm, I think they're just nobodies.
Yeah,
They're not anti-heroes, they're not villains because they're not relevant
but they
anymore.
call them anti-heroes. Like that's what Kevin Feige like. Fuck,
I
Kevin
guess that's
Feige.
the only term you can think of like anti-heroes.
Is Deathstroke an anti-hero? Because he's done good stuff.
Maybe
And
you could say anti-villains
yeah,
because they're
'cause-
not really heroes. They're sort of not villains though, but they're doing good. And I think anti-villains is a little bit. I mean, that's not what it's going to be though. But
yeah.
I keep saying this. I have no faith in the MCU. Honestly, the MCU should just go away. Just do the animated stuff. In all honesty, I say reboot it because, like I said, the fact that the X-Men TV show, and I say this no exaggeration, is the best thing Marvel has ever made. The MCU to me is never. The MCU is not going to touch that. They might as well just continue doing animation. I think Marvel, if they want to survive, they're going to be way more popular if they just stick with animation and video games.
Look at
That's
this.
really it.
Look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Like I'm gonna check right now. X-Men.
Really,
No,
I
what?
really truly think so far we're halfway through the season. I've never said this. Everybody knows you guys make fun of me because I'm so cynical. This is literally the best thing
Yeah.
Marvel has ever put out. Like I don't know how anyone I mean you could disagree, that's fine, but I don't know how anyone could sit
I don't.
here and say that this
I
is better
think.
than
What's the highest MCU film? Wait, Rotten Tomatoes. Does
the
anybody know?
highest rated MCU film might be Black Panther.
Where's Black Panther? Let me check
I
that
don't
Rotten
know,
Tomatoes.
maybe not. Maybe Black Panther's in like the high 80s, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is in like the low 90s. Uh maybe Endgame, Iron Man,
Well,
uh
X-Men '97 does have a higher
Thor
critic score.
Ragnarok, maybe, I think.
Black Panther, surprisingly, the first movie has a 79 audience score percentage. That's kind of
I'm
that
not
kind of surprises
surprised.
me. I really wow. You're not surprised?
I think
That's
I'm not surprised because it changed when it won not won, but it was nominated for best picture because some people really don't think it should be nominated for best picture. I kind of get it. It's a Marvel movie. It's not like
so
that
so
groundbreaking, but
I think X-Men is the highest rated critic score.
for
Well,
Marvel any like of all
yes.
time, well good.
98%. 98% on the audience score is not though.
No, I mean that's fine. But I mean in general, I like in all honesty, the show is like why can't we have a good show with the Avengers? Why can't we have a good show with
We
Spider-Man
can. We
and
just gotta get good people. We're good creative
I
people.
mean, I don't mind if they do maybe television live action, like if we got Daredevil and I don't know if you want to do a Heroes for Hire, but like the movies have been played out. Like even when they were, because you bet your ass they're gonna fast track the X-Men movie after this TV show because this is
Why?
also very popular too. It
They
seems
are
like
gonna. They are
so.
gonna. They're gonna try to milk this.
They're gonna try to milk it, and I don't think it's gonna work. Honestly, I think they should honestly just let the TV show exist, let it be, garner more popularity, more interest in the X-Men, and do Secret Wars, and then just take a break because this is getting way too out of hand. Like I'm being serious. Like anytime someone mentions Marvel, like I just groan. Like MCU, because like I said, I still read Marvel comics. I love the
Hmm.
X-Men show. I'm excited about some of the games that they're gonna put out, but the MCU is just overplayed out. They really, in my opinion, they've been beating the MCU to the point where it is not fun. It's not interesting anymore. It's not going anywhere. I really don't care what they do with the MCU. Honestly, I would rather if they reboot it. And the fact that Robert Downey Jr. recently was saying, "Oh, I don't mind. I'm coming back." The moment you come back, yeah, that's going to piss off a lot of people. A lot
Hmm.
of people are going to be upset that Iron Man came back. You might as well just recast Iron Man. You might as well just do that because bringing back Robert Downey Jr., even if it's just to hang out with Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman, that might be the only exception. I will like I feel like people could be like, okay, you know what, that's fine. But anything else, don't bother. Do not bother. This is a franchise that's on its last legs, to be honest. I have to be honest. I don't care what any of the fanboys say. I don't know anybody in my personal life who is even interested in the MCU. If they want to bring him back, obviously not going to be the main version. Yeah, but it's not even about that.
He can still
If
bring. He
you
can still be the main version. I mean, this is Marvel, man. There's
It's not
fans.
even about that. If you bring him back
Yeah,
and say any other project beyond Secret Wars, so he can have like a interaction with characters that he hasn't had before, that's all pointless. And
yeah.
everybody listen, the multiverse idea, they have run that into the ground. They did absolutely nothing with it. They ruined the concept. Now people are bored as hell. In all honesty, if it's not the main version who comes back, people are just going to be upset. Like I said, the only exception is if he's going to interact with Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire. Other than that, I really do not care to see Robert Downey Jr. come back as Iron Man. It would ruin Avengers Endgame, and it would just be more multiverse crap that we don't need.
It was. It's just. Oh, I the idea of them going to multiverse and when they announced they were doing that sounded good. It's just
They did
there's people
nothing
when
with it. That's the
the
thing. Everybody who is read
they
either
confuse people with it. They confuse people with
they
it.
confused people with it. It was boring. Doctor Strange, even though I was one of the few people who do like Doctor Strange, I don't like the cameo multiverse stuff of it.
They weren't even
But
supposed to be in it.
yeah,
That was
like the whole
research. That was all
Illuminati
research.
stuff.
That was
Yeah,
research.
yeah, that ruined the movie in my opinion. Like if the movie was just Doctor Strange going in the multiverse and it was this horror adventure, it would have been a great movie. Sam Raimi's a great director, and you could still see it that in the movie. The writing is kind of sloppy, but I still had a fun time with it. It's just
I
it
mean, the whole
definitely
cast
could
of
be
the writing
better.
was bad.
Yeah, it definitely could be a better movie, but I think
Cumberbatch
that's the
back to
movie
writing.
that, yeah, I
Oh,
mean that's
Cumberbatch
the
did
movie
not
that
like the
ruined
movie.
multiverse.
Benedict Cumberbatch did not like the movie
I'm not surprised.
because he
I'm
thought,
sure every main actor on that movie probably does not like the movie. It's not a well-written movie
well,
at all.
I'm gonna tell you a little something. Elizabeth Olsen, she had a little bit control on her character on the direction she wanted to go with it. I kind of blame her a little bit because not for acting, but for the direction of Wanda, because that was nothing like what she did in WandaVision. Um, but Cumberbatch,
But is that really her fault, or is that Marvel's fault for not, like, how would she
I
have
don't
been?
know. I
Because
like the
I
thing is,
read an interview of her saying something about she had all these different pages for Doctor Strange, and
yes,
she was confused, and she was
that's
kind of
true
like
too.
arguing with them.
That's
I feel like they the whole
argue.
Disney Plus shows that they added, even though I like
Okay,
WandaVision until the
Sam
last
Wilson,
episode.
not Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, they come out and basically admit there's not a lot of freedom on Marvel stuff on
Yeah,
set,
not surprising.
and yeah, because I'm not surprised because they're all connected, right? Marvel movies are
Right.
all connected, and you can't have something go the opposite direction where totally sways the direction of the overall arc.
Yeah, but at the same time, they should probably know. Like, here's the thing, like, how does something like WandaVision and Doctor Strange even happen?
I
It
mean,
almost feels like they're
the
two
writer,
different
the writer
stories
did
with
admit
Wanda.
writer did admit he did not watch WandaVision.
Well,
The
yeah,
writer,
that's pretty clear. That's pretty
and
clear. Like, you don't even need to know he said that to know that he didn't watch it.
yes, yes,
That's what I mean. Like that that's what I'm saying. Who is
and
actually excited about the MCU when they can't even follow their own storyline?
uh-huh.
Like, why am I invested in this a series if first off, when the fuck are some of these characters gonna appear? When is Shang-Chi going to appear
They don't
again?
even know. They don't even know the actors who signed up. They're like, "When's my next
Yeah, the
appearance?"
stuff that people actually are like, hey, Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi, like one of the few new characters that you introduce that is actually popular and people like. Yeah, when is that character gonna appear again? But Miss Marvel, a character who honestly is kind of butchered, in my opinion. Definitely not
Yeah,
the
I agree.
version from the comic. Even the Avengers game, dude. When the Avengers game is doing something better than
Yeah,
you
that's
got
true.
problems.
That's
So
true.
they butchered that. The Marvels was, why did they even bother making the Marvels? Beyond me. I don't even know why they made that. Echo, again, a character who should have just been a
Bad.
supporting character.
It's not a
Also,
good show.
it's not even that I hate Echo. Echo is a badass fucking character in the comics. She is a one-man army. She literally took on the hand by herself, something the Avengers couldn't even do. She's a fucking badass character. They made her into a boring, slow,
Yeah.
just non-interesting character no one cares about. She could have been a great character, honestly. That's the problem with the MCU, and that's the problem with these MCU fanboys. They don't know anything about the comics. They don't know anything about these characters.
They call comic book
When you
tourists.
challenge them,
They call
well,
comic
yeah,
book
they are
tourists now.
tourists. They can't even do research on the characters that they're interested in. Go read those Avengers, New Avengers, and what they were doing with Echo. That character could easily, if it was a good adaptation, that was a character everybody would have loved to see on the Avengers. Fucking badass character who's literally a one man army. And the thing is, people, I mean, now people just say everything is woke, but that was a time period where no one was saying that and everybody loved the fucking character. She's a cool character. Um, Not the MCU version, that's for sure.
No. No.
Everything about the MCU, like I don't know how anybody
It's
that's what I'm saying. You can like it, fine, whatever, but like don't come at me when I'm saying that the MCU is not interesting. Captain America 4, who the fuck? Who the fuck actually cares about Captain America 4? I'm sorry. They have to jam pack all these other characters into it because Sam Wilson is not a good Captain America. That's it. They did what they did in the show, which I will admit was interesting, but that show literally, as a result, makes him not a very interesting Captain America. It's almost as if he shouldn't even be Captain America because of that show. That's how interesting it was. It was, hey, Captain America has a very bad legacy, a legacy that is not talked about, that was abusive, that was racist, that, was an experiment. It was something that was hidden away. Yet Sam Wilson is like, yeah, I'm gonna still be Captain America, but I'm not gonna take the super soldier serum, the thing that makes Captain America Captain America. I'm not going to take that. Then what is the point of being Captain America? You're just now boring. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm the now moral authority. Captain America is interesting because his moral authority puts him in situations that he's conflicted about. He doesn't know what to do. And on top of that, too, his powers are cool. He can do a lot of cool things, as evident by the Winter Soldier. But for some reason, they think strapping a pair of wings and having a shield is cool. What fucking kid is gonna even want to play with a Captain Falcon toy? Nobody. I'm telling you right now, nobody's gonna do it. You're gonna see a bunch of those toys. They're gonna be sitting on shelves because no kid
I'm
is
telling
gonna
you,
like it.
the Marvel stuff don't get sold very well. They don't.
No, because they're not. No one cares about
I
any
know.
of the new characters. No one cares what they're gonna do. The only thing I will say that I am interested in, and this is like if this project goes to shit, I'm done with the MCU. Like I'm actually done with the MCU. I'm not even gonna bother with it anymore. I'm not even gonna even care. And I've been saying this for quite some time, and I'm kind of doing that. I've been like watching stuff that I don't care about after, like, months after they come out. Like the Marvels and what was another show? Yeah, I guess
The
it was
Marvel's
just the
movie, you
Marvels.
mean?
The
That's the
Marvel
movie.
Secret Invasion. Yeah, the show or
Oh,
the
Secret
movie.
Invasion sucked.
Yeah, Secret Invasion
The
sucked.
Thunderbolts with the asterisk and the Thunder. I thought the Thunderbolts new Thunderbolts logo was it's terrible. It's a terrible
It's
logo.
terrible from a graphic design standpoint. It's
Yeah,
fucking awful.
it looks lazy.
Looks boring as hell. Not interesting. It's
Oh,
just like, wow,
oh.
that's the best you could come up with.
The one they had
Nothing
before was
interesting.
better.
Yeah,
Who the hell decided to? Who signed off on that? Oh, oh my god! I was like, what the hell did they do to that logo?
well,
Oh,
it's very I don't know. It reflects what the MC was doing nowadays. Just
oh,
not very interesting,
lazy.
bland, safe,
Lazy,
boring, lazy.
lazy.
Yep. Seriously, Captain America 4. Oh yeah, but the movie I was gonna say, the movie that needs to be this has high expectations, is the Fantastic Four movie. That's the only movie I genuinely care about because as I don't know, I love the Fantastic Four. Okay, the Fantastic
I
Four.
know you
I
do.
love the Jack Kirby comics. I loved Jonathan Hickman's run on Fantastic Four. Very cool. The characters, I love them. I love the original 2005 movie. I don't care what anybody says.
I like that
Um,
movie
it-
too. The first one from
yeah,
2005, the Fox one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that one
yeah,
too.
yeah. I love as a kid growing up watching that movie. Like I
I
just love the Fantastic Four. Very cool characters. They're the most iconic Marvel characters. And Jack Kirby is what made those characters cool, in my opinion. The way he drew them, the ideas that he had. Like, I know Stan Lee wrote the Fantastic Four, but in all honesty, it felt more like Jack Kirby's
yeah.
creation. Just how out there, the ancient aliens, all this like sci-fi ideas, like really trippy. It's that's what it needs to be. It needs to be a representation of what Jack Kirby and his art, the style, the storylines that were in the comics. That's what was missing from other
And he
interpretations.
wasn't you. No, that's the sequel.
No, that's the sequel.
The
Yeah, I don't
sequel
really
wasn't
care
very
about
good.
the sequel that
The
much,
se-
but yeah.
yeah, the 2005 one to me is it's underrated.
Yeah, it's
I
still pretty good. I mean, it's not the best interpretation, I'm sure. Like you could definitely make a better Fantastic Four
I'm
movie, but it's still
it,
pretty decent.
I mean, if it's 1,000 times better than 2015.
Yeah.
And the sequel to Fantastic Four is better than 2015's version too. The one with Silver Surfer, even with
Yeah.
Fart Cup Galactus is better. Okay,
You know
because
what I
that
just realized? How come all these Fantastic Four movies are coming out? Yeah, 2005, 2015, 2025. Like, holy shit. Every 10 years they make a Fantastic Four movie.
Why did not come out with it? Why did not come in a year with the 4 in it? They should come out. They should come out 2004, 2014,
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, they never did.
You
But
know what I
this
thought? Remember when they did 2021? Marvel did like a little real thing, and they had for the next phase, and they had at the end it said 4. Remember?
yeah.
People knew it was Fantastic Four, right? But people thought it was gonna be 2024, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I mean, they did learn some lesson with delaying these movies, but
Mhm.
the movies that we're still getting, they're not like that's the problem. The movie is not interesting.
Oh wow,
Thunderbolts, Captain America 4,
the only
even
movie
Blade. What are they doing with
I
Blade?
don't even think that's filming right now. I thought, oh my god, yo,
I mean,
yo,
this is why I say that the comic book genre, I feel like the only people who are like the comic book genre is not dying are the people who just can't admit it, or they're just like totally obsessed with the genre. The genre is dying. If you're watching other stuff, or if you're just like talking to normal people, you'll understand. Most people have completely fallen off the superhero genre. They think it's repetitive. It's not interesting. They want some
Marvel. That's Marvel's
uh,
fault.
yeah, it's Marvel's fault. I mean, look at what they've been putting out. And like I said, I don't really mind if the superhero genre isn't popular anymore because clearly it's been oversaturated. They haven't been making anything good. I mean,
Hey,
I mean, yes, we got into Across the Spider-Verse and
you
Guardians
see,
of the Galaxy 3, but
Margot Robbie is is producing a comic book movie that nobody ever heard about.
what was
Like
that?
nobody, I forget what it's called. But she's doing like a
Hmm.
Monopoly movie and a Sims movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
who wants to see a fucking
A
Sims movie?
Sims movie. Oh yeah, that's a movie that's not on this list, no?
Yeah, yeah, good point.
That's
But
pretty
what?
funny.
But what's the point of a Sims movie? That's basically you can make any movie. Like a lot of movies are like Sims.
I guess it would be like, I don't know, Barbie meets Free Guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, it could be like that. That's the only
Because
way
the
you could
thing
do
is,
it.
The Sims, like, I did play a bit of The Sims, but I remember like a
I me
lot
too.
of like women and girls would play The Sims. Like that was like a big game for women,
You
to
know,
be
I'd rather
honest.
play. You know, I'd rather do Sim City or something like that, or
Mm,
something like. You know what? You're like people. Sim City. My idea would be, there's a city. There's a city already being made, right? A vibrant
mm,
city, stuff like that, being made. And there's threats of a global something's going to destroy the city, right? Because when you play SimCity, you could send a tornado, a hurricane, or whatever, right? And the whole movie is about that, and that just happens. And as a player, the player is responsible for destroying the city. Like
mm.
you are literally God. And they're doing a Monopoly movie, right? They're making a Monopoly movie.
Yep.
She's producing. I mean, oh, Monopoly. That's gonna be funny. But I think. Uh,
Oh, what happened?
Civil
Wait, you still
War.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
No, Civil War got a B minus on
Yeah, I'm
CinemaScope.
gonna see it probably next weekend.
It's very controversial, whatever. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just curious about it. So I'm like, I haven't been to the movie since Dune 2, so
Mm-hmm. I've been
I want to
seeing
watch something.
what movie did I last see? Was it Dune 2? No, Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, yeah. Game adaptation is the next thing. It could be the next big thing. Look at the list we just saw, man. I mean, like I never
Well, yeah,
that's
it
pretty
is going to be the next thing, definitely. I mean, to be
cool.
honest, there's a lot of I mean, we did like 2.5 hours talking about Fallout, and honestly, I didn't even scratch the surface of
I
Fallout.
know.
Like,
So
Fallout is
much.
definitely going to be a very popular series going forward. I mean, I'm happy to see so many people like it. It's like, yeah, for someone who's played all of the games, I mean, I was there when Fallout 4 was launched. I remember seeing it at E3 and being like super excited, like, and it was like, damn, like could you imagine if we ever got a Fallout movie or show, like the world and everything, like you just get lost in that. Like even now I still listen to the music that's in Fallout,
Mm.
like the old songs from like the 40s and 50s,
Very
like
yes, yes.
yeah,
Man,
like
I don't know. Like I don't okay. And end this soon. Like I was just watching a stream last night. Title of a stream, HBO Max shutting down. And I'm like, what? HBO Max is
mm,
shutting down? I checked. There's nothing on that. There's nothing saying HBO Max is shutting down. No news. Nothing. I'm like, where's people getting this information from? Um,
mm.
um, where did he? Where now? Blind. Have you heard? Is there any update of potential Superman game?
No, I mean, I don't. Here's the thing. I try to stop looking at rumors now because I think it's all bullshit. Um, there was some talk about like Superman, like a potential Superman game, but it's supposedly being made by Warner Brothers Montreal, which, uh, listen, you know, I do not like Mo Warner Brothers Montreal. I think Gotham Knights is one of the worst things they've, one of the worst games I've ever played. I'm sorry. I could not beat that game. I couldn't even put 10 hours into that game. It was so bad. Um, so I really have no faith in them making a Superman game.
Okay. Well, so
Honestly,
there's
I'm
yes.
completely writing off Warner Brothers as a studio until they actually make something good. So, in all honesty, I could care less about a Superman game for the time being,
The bet
unless
or
it's really good.
The Harry
But
Potter game
yeah,
was good.
eh, eh.
Was that one? Yeah. Also, what was there? Shit. Yeah, I showed you that clip of people still people believe this Zack Snyder's gonna make his stuff sell to Netflix. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know
Well,
why they even bother. Why do they even bother? Like we said, the genre is pretty much dead. We really don't know if James Gunn will be successful. Yeah, James Gunn has definitely made the best comic book movies by far, but can he make a universe last for as long as the MCU in a time where most people don't
and
care?
also and
I don't
also
know.
also he's gonna have other. He's gonna have other people working on the movies, directing and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true as well. So we don't even know if the quality will be on par
yeah,
with what he delivers. I don't know. I really think, listen, as like I get it. Like a lot of people still love superheroes. Like I said, I still love superheroes, but like I said, I've been more interested in the animation and the comic stuff. Like I don't really care about the live action stuff. I honestly think that the live action aspect of superheroes is like what else can you do with it? Like they're pretty much proving that Hollywood has run its course. They don't have any interesting ideas. They pretty much got to the characters that they really wanted to. Like what more do you want to see? You know what I mean? Like if you want to see more, then I don't know, read the comics. Go watch X-Men 97. You know what I mean? Like go support that stuff. Don't just like continue to beg and plead for something that we already got. We got good comic book movies. You know what I mean? Like it's like the westerns, right? Like I really do think that comparison is pretty applicable now. Like we got good western movies. Do we need every movie to be a western? No. I want to
oh,
see other
that
movies.
no.
You know what I mean?
Uh,
Even this video game trend, like I would much rather if they pick interesting stories, you know, adapt interesting books or interesting
you know what I like?
ideas, right?
You know what I like about this video game trend? At least with video games, they're not the same thing. At least it's different
Yeah.
genres,
Yeah,
right?
it's different genres, different stories, different characters.
Yeah,
It's not all in the same universe.
yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna end it here, man, because I'm hungry. I need to eat dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Plug whatever you have going on your channel. Cool.
Yeah, as I am still working, I've been working loosely on it even when we're talking, is the Alan Wake iceberg video. because I love Alan Wake. You know, hopefully they make that TV show because they could. There's a lot. Like I said, it could be another Fallout type of show where people just fall in love with the world and the weirdness of it all. So, um, yeah, so go check that out. I don't have any date for it. Just, subscribe to my channel and I post community posts. So when it's done, you'll probably see a community post and I'll probably be hyping it up and yeah. And so far so good. Is that how you say it? The phrasing?
Yeah, so
But I
far so
showed it to
good.
some people. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've shown it to some people. A lot of people like the intro. I'm trying to make it as cinematic as possible, right? I'm really focusing on the sound effects, the voiceover, the visuals. Just try to make sure everything feels like a very high production YouTube video. Um, so yeah,
All right. Thank you, Blinded, for that. Tomorrow, like I said, X-Men episode 4 and 5 spoiler review. And yeah, that's tomorrow. And do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and comment below after this is live if you want to. I don't care.